Bingyu couldn't use spirit sense now, so Yimo just set up a simple barrier formation and brought a bunch of immortal spirit herbs into the golden page world. Bingyu couldn't use spirit sense now, so Yimo just set up a simple barrier formation and brought a bunch of immortal spirit herbs into the golden page world. The tidy-looking place looked messy now. Yimo dug level 5 and level 6 immortal spirit herbs from the area with the densest immortal spirit kai, but Yimo didn't care. He was concocting pills in the golden page world like crazy. He was mainly concocting immortal grade level 6 pills. One of his reasons for coming here was to reach level 6 immortal pill Great Master. The dual spirit pill couldn't completely cure Bingyu, but it could allow her essence spirit to not cripple. If her essence spirit gathered, she would get better day by day. Even if in the end she couldn't cultivate due to her spirit roots dissolving, she wouldn't be in life-threatening danger. 1 month later, Yimo successfully reached level 6 immortal pill Great Master. Since he was in a rush, he wasted more than 80% of the level 6 immortal spirit herbs here. He collected the remaining 20% into his golden page world too. If he did things slowly, he could reach level 6 immortal pill Great Master in a year, but that was too slow. As soon as he became level 6 immortal pill Great Master, Yimo immediately concocted a few cauldrons of dual spirit pills. They could not only repair spirit sense but also repair souls and essence spirits. Even if your spirit sense and essence spirit weren't injured, you could use it to cultivate, and the effects were quite great. Used with corner soul weeds and the soul nourishing well, its spirit sense cultivation effect would be at the best. However, it was an immortal grade pill and the caliber of the soul nourishing well wasn't enough. Yimo only got 1 drop a year, so he could only use it with corner soul weeds to cultivate spirit sense. But that wasn't important for Yimo anymore. He had dual spirit pills. How many in the immortal realm could use them to cultivate spirit sense? Yimo took out a few bottles of dual spirit pills and came out of the golden page world. He needed to give the pills to Bingyu first, otherwise who knew how long he might be in solitary cultivation. Bingyu spent most of her time sleeping, and when she woke up, she would use her body refinement cultivation method to repair her meridians. Even though she knew it was useless, she never wanted to give up. She had no other way but to use her body refinement cultivation method. When Yimo came in this time, Bingyu was awake. She had always been someone to endure loneliness and didn't feel dissatisfied at Yimo for leaving her alone in the house. Seeing Bingyu still trying to cultivate her body refinement cultivation method, Yimo was helpless. He gave her quite some pills, even snow-winged pills and jicheong pills, and even set up a spirit-gathering formation here, but her injury wasn't something that could recover through cultivation. Most people would lose their body after failing nirvana, but because Bingyu used part of the chaos blue reed, her body was fine but her essence spirit and spirit roots were damaged. "I've made a new pill today, have a look." Yimo took out the dual spirit pill and passed it to her. He believed she hadn't seen the pill before, as dark weeds were extinct in the immortal realm. Bingyu didn't look carefully at the jade bottle Yimo gave her. She opened and took out a pill and placed it in her mouth. She was certain that Yimo was an immortal pill Great Master, so she didn't doubt the pills he gave her. Moments later, Bingyu's face shook. There was extreme shock on her face. Then, she closed her eyes and started using her cultivation method. She could feel she could finally use her cultivation method. Although her dissolving spirit roots couldn't be repaired, her weakness and crippled essence spirit could be repaired. Yimo clearly saw 2 streaks of tears rolling down her eyes. She must be very excited seeing that her injuries had signs of recovery. Yimo was shocked as well. This was the first time he saw Bingyu cry. He thought that someone like her wouldn't cry even if she was about to be killed. She teared up now, not because she might be saved but because she could cultivate again. Yimo sighed. This woman was too obsessed. Words couldn't describe her obsession for cultivation. Yimo knew she definitely was a reasonable person and her social experience was no lesser than other people, but everything was based on cultivation. Yimo had seen this woman smile once before. He was very shocked. He believed that when she smiled, it was many times prettier than when she had a cold face. Now that he saw her tear up, it was definitely many times prettier than when she was cold. Yimo shook his head. He really couldn't correlate this woman to the woman who thought of her body as just flesh and bones. He didn't disturb her. He left behind a few more bottles of dual spirit pills and left. He also needed to go in solitary cultivation. 50 top-grade immortal crystals. Emo didn't save any for cultivation. He set up layer upon layer of immortal crystals, spirit-gathering formations, and ate pill after pill. The time formation disc ran for 2 years, and then Emo suddenly got up. He finally reached Golden Immortal Peak Stage from Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage. He just needed to have his divine damnation and he would be an abstruse immortal. After abstruse immortal, he would leave here. According to his calculations, Susu and them wouldn't ascend this quickly. It was best for him to leave the 11 low heaven domains and go into the 11 middle domains to find his opportunity of reaching Great Immortal. Lu Zhengquan was calculating his location and it had been so many years already. If he really found it, then he would have nowhere to hide in the 11 low heaven domains. Yimo knew that although he had great unity pill, his cultivation wasted too much resources. He used 10 million top-grade immortal crystals to go from Golden Immortal Tertiary Stage to Golden Immortal Peak Stage. Just how many would he need to go from Abstruse Immortal Primary Stage to Abstruse Immortal Peak Stage? And Yimo felt that although the effect of immortal crystals cultivation wasn't bad, it was far from as good as the immortal well. If he found another top-grade immortal well, his cultivation speed would rapidly increase. Yimo went out of the Golden Page world and immediately scanned Zhen Bingyu with his spirit sense. She could sit and cultivate now. It seemed the pills were quite effective. She looked considerably better than before. Seeing Yimo come in, Zhen Bingyu stopped cultivation and stared at Yimo asking, "You gave me dual spirit pills? Where did you get corner soul weeds?" Yimo was shook. He didn't expect her to really recognize what pill it was, but he said heavily, "Would you believe it if I said I found it in the corner soul domain when you didn't notice?" Zhen Bingyu frowned and said no more. "Not bad, you can sit up now." Yimo walked over and carried Zhen Bingyu on his back again. "Thank you for your pills. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be able to stabilize my essence spirit. I can use spirit sense now and open my own storage ring," Zhen Bingyu said. "You're welcome. You're injured partly due to me. Do you have pills left? If not, I'll give you a few more bottles," Yimo asked. Zhen Bingyu fell silent for a while and said, "There's still a lot left, I don't use much." Yimo took out another storage ring and gave it to her. "There are some pills I made in here. You can have them. I've also put some of the essence spirit recovery pills inside too." Zhen Bingyu asked in confusion, "Why? Why not keep these pills on you and give it to me when I need it? It's the same sooner or later. I'm about to have my abstruse immortal divine damnation. After I reach abstruse immortal, I will be leaving the Chaos Star realm. I think that will be in at most 1 year. This means that in about a year you can go back to your sect. We might not see each other again, so I might as well give the pills to you now," Yimo explained. Zhen Bingyu nodded and said no more. When Yimo put away the cultivation artifact mansion and carried her on his back again, she suddenly said, "If one day I can recover, I won't forget that you saved me before." Yimo smiled. "No need, it's better for you to forget about me." Zhen Bingyu didn't say much and asked, "How much confidence do you have in passing your divine damnation?" This time Yimo said, "Actually, I love having divine damnations. Believe it or not, up to you." Zhen Bingyu shook her head and said no more. Zhen Bingyu shook her head and said no more. Yimo took out the jade card and left the immortal spirit herb mountain again, returning to the desert of level 4. Looking at this boundless desert, he had to admit that whoever set this formation up was quite powerful. He could set up such a formation, but hiding such a huge immortal spirit herb mountain in the formation would only be possible once he reached level 5 or level 6 immortal formation Great Master. Most of the times when Yimo had his divine damnation, he didn't set up spirit gathering formations as he could devour lightning source. He didn't care if there was the immortal spirit Kai was plentiful or not, but in this desert almost devoid of immortal spirit Kai, Yimo set up a spirit gathering immortal formation. Last time when he had his golden immortal divine damnation, he was almost ambushed by the divine damnation. Luckily he reached golden immortal at the last moment, So this time he set up an abundant immortal spirit Kai gathering formation. As for lighting attraction and storage formations, Yimo couldn't be bothered setting them up. He knew with the current power of the divine damnation, the formations wouldn't be able to store it even if he set them up. Seeing Yimo set up so many immortal spirit Kai gathering formations, Zhen Bingyu was speechless. To be honest, Yimo was just having an abstruse immortal divine damnation. Why did it seem like he was having his great immortal divine damnation? And he even said his favorite things were divine damnations. Yimo was already using the three-birth chant in the formation at this moment, ready to draw down the divine damnation. Zhen Bingyu hadn't seen Yimo's cultivation scene, but now that she saw all the immortal spirit Kai of the immortal crystals around Yimo gather and form a mist, she was shocked. No wonder he cultivated so fast. The impact of his cultivation was this huge. Soon, she saw 8 huge immortal spirit Kai whirlpools spinning above Yimo's head. They grew bigger and bigger until they combined into one. There were about 10 million immortal crystals outside. That seemed a lot, but not for someone who cultivated like Yimo. To be honest, if an ordinary golden immortal used so many immortal crystals to cultivate, he might not be able to use them up within a few thousand years, but with Yimo's speed, Zhen Bingyu was certain they wouldn't last him even 100 years. Thinking that Yimo needed 100 times more immortal crystals than others, Zhen Bingyu took in a cold breath. She had seen some prodigies in the sect, but none of them has such a grand cultivation scene. Yimo's heritage was too powerful. Zhen Bingyu shook her head. She also benefited from Yimo's heritage, or she would have turned to dust from nirvana already. However, no matter how powerful Yimo's heritage was, he wasn't going to give it to her. If she didn't save his life, she might not even have the body refinement cultivation method. Yimo ate the abstruse clear pill. 15 minutes later, the dim sky got darker and Zhen Bingyu knew Yimo's divine damnation was here. Asterisk rumble rumble asterisk 9 faint red lightning arcs fell down. Zhen Bingyu dazed on the side. What was going on? Since when was the first wave of abstruse immortal divine damnation 9 bolts? Usually there were at most 3. Abstruse immortal divine damnations were usually 18 bolts. If there were 9 in the first wave, then wouldn't that mean there would only be 2 waves? Plus, no matter how powerful the golden immortal peak stage was, he wouldn't be able to stop 9 bolts at the same time. These 9 bolts were extremely thick too. How could Yimo survive that? And what was this faint red lightning bolt? She had never seen it before. Asterisk crack asterisk the 9 bolts all blasted on Yimo's body, but what Zhen Bingyu didn't understand was that Yimo didn't even release a defensive magic artifact. Did he not have one, or did Yimo think he could take it head-on because he had an immortal nirvana body? It might be that Yimo really didn't have a defensive magic artifact. She had been with Yimo for quite long and she had never seen him take out a defensive magic artifact. When the 9 bolts struck him, Yimo knew these lightning arcs were so much stronger than his golden immortal divine damnation. Yimo's 3-birth chant ran and he devoured the lightning source incessantly, converting them all to immortal essence. He could clearly feel that the red lightning was much stronger than before, but he was damaged less. Only his skin cracked open. Only now did Yimo feel the benefits of body refinement immortal body. Seeing Yimo easily survive the 9 bolts, Zhen Bingyu was completely dumbfounded. This was the first time she had seen an abstruse immortal divine damnation this powerful and someone pass it so easily. No wonder Yimo didn't release a defensive magic artifact. He was prepared. Was an immortal nirvana body really this powerful? More than 10 cracks sounded in the air again. 18 bolts of lightning fell at the same time and they seemed thicker and more ferocious than before. What's going on? Zhen Bingyu looked at the divine damnation in confusion. This was 27 bolts already. Only an extremely rare few golden immortal cultivators would have 27 bolts. Thinking about how Yimo could kill abstruse immortals as golden immortal, Zhen Bingyu seemed to realize something, but even 27 bolts didn't come in just 2 waves. But Yimo didn't fear them at all. He charged up against the wave. He felt he was lucky he finished his nirvana before this divine damnation, or else this time he wouldn't have it so easy. Asterisk rumble asterisk the lightning bolt struck him, but he used 3-birth chant to devour the lightning power. The faint red lightning was rapidly devoured by Yi Mo and turned into lightning element immortal essence, increasing his cultivation level. "He's actually fine." Zhen Bingyu was dazed again. The 18 bolts didn't even heavily injure Yi Mo *rumble*. 2 more bolts fell down. Zhen Bingyu was completely bewildered now. This was beyond 27 bolts. However, Yi Mo's power began to rise rapidly now. It didn't stop at the 2 bolts, more fell. 2 more, 3 more, 2 more. Lighting arcs fell down non-stop and grew thicker and thicker until Yi Mo was completely immersed in red lightning bolts. Zhen Bingyu looked dazedly at this. She didn't understand at all just what kind of divine damnation Yi Mo was having. How could there be so many bolts of abstruse immortal divine damnation? Suddenly, Yi Mo let out a long howl and charged up while releasing black lighting to fight against the pink lightning in the sky. He was crazy. Zhen Bingyu finally realized why Yi Mo said he loved divine damnation. She had never seen someone have divine damnation like this. This was attacking divine damnation. Was he trying to show off his power or trying to anger the divine damnation? Zhen Bingyu didn't know that Yi Mo was long past the angering divine damnation phase. He charged up to fight divine damnation so his lightning sword would improve. Each time he used lightning sword against divine damnation, its power would increase a level. Now that he had completely finished divine damnation and reached abstruse immortal, how could he waste such an opportunity to improve his lightning sword? Rumbling sounds were incessant in the air. Yi Mo's black lightning sword clashed with the red lightning bolts. 5 minutes later, the lightning slowly dissipated and the immortal spirit Kai cloud finally came. Yi Mo put away his lightning sword and started devouring the immortal spirit Kai cloud. This divine damnation was too easy. But Yi Mo knew that the abstruse immortal divine damnation was the easiest divine damnation among all of the immortal divine damnations. Feeling the power of abstruse immortal essence and spirit sense, Yi Mo was very happy. It was indeed too hard to kill abstruse immortals as a golden immortal. If it wasn't that his cultivation method was so absurd, it would be impossible. At this moment, Yi Mo thought of the words of that blue-dressed status immortal. "You will forever be a golden immortal for the rest of your life." It had only been a few years and he was already abstruse immortal. At this moment, Yi Mo thought of the words of that blue-dressed status immortal. "You will forever be a golden immortal for the rest of your life." It had only been a few years and he was already abstruse immortal. Even though Yi Mo knew this wasn't due to him but to the 3-birth chant, yet he still felt very satisfied. Yi Mo cleansed himself and changed into a new set of clothes before putting away the extra immortal crystals. Then, he came to Zhen Bingyu. "Let's go, we can go back to the extreme sword sect." Yi Mo released Blue Moon and said. Zhen Bingyu sighed. She realized that even though she doubted Yi Mo to be bluffing, it turned out he was telling the truth. When she thought she knew a lot of secrets about Yi Mo, she only in fact knew less than 1%. Yi Mo carried Zhen Bingyu onto Blue Moon and released it, flying towards the entrance of level 3. He was abstruse immortal primary stage now and his immortal essence was many times stronger. His spirit sense also increased greatly. The speed with which the level 4 flying immortal artifact Blue Moon was going was unfathomable. The level 4 shadowless vultures seemed to know that Yi Mo wasn't easy to mess with, so not a single one came to stop Yi Mo. In a short 3 days, Yi Mo was back at level 3. He realized that even if one had a good flying magic artifact, it needed someone good to use it. If he wasn't an abstruse immortal and was still a golden immortal, he wouldn't be able to make Blue Moon go this fast no matter what. Before he flew across level 3 for a year, but now when he flew to the second level entrance, he took less than half a year. When Yi Mo went into level 2, he immediately became careful and stealthed Blue Moon. There was the corner soul domain at level 2, Yi Mo didn't know if powerful beings were here checking it. If he encountered a status immortal and they pressured him with spirit sense, he really wasn't sure if he could keep Golden Page World a secret. Just in case, Yi Mo hid his power back to Golden Immortal Primary Stage. After all, he came here as a Golden Immortal Primary Stage, but in just 10 years he was Abstruse Immortal Primary Stage. Yi Mo could have come to the entrance of level 2 in 3 months but he was very careful and went around. However, Yi Mo felt it was strange that level 2 was so calm. He didn't meet many immortals on the way. Seeing that he was about to leave level 2, Yimo finally couldn't resist it and stopped 2 golden immortals. They were both golden immortal peak stage. The two weren't worried that a golden immortal primary stage stopped them but instead studied Jin Bingyu a few times. 2 friends, I've been in solitary cultivation and I just came out. I want to go to the corner soul domain but I haven't been able to find the direction. May I ask where it is? Yimo saluted with his fists. You want to go to the corner soul domain? A golden immortal asked in confusion. Yes, my martial sister's spirit sense is injured, Yimo answered. The two looked at Jin Bingyu and didn't suspect and then immediately said, you don't need to go anymore. The corner soul domain is actually a small world and was taken away by someone 10 years ago. The person who took it away is very evil, he didn't let a single person who went inside out. Now it's non-existent. Yimo was a little confused. Was he the only one who predicted that the soul corner domain was a sea of consciousness? Did no one check it out? Yimo asked again. The golden immortal said plainly, of course, 3 immortal emperors from the grand heaven domains came. They found that the small world had been spirit-controlled and the owner took away all the immortals in it. The 3 immortal emperors were furious and immediately locked up the surroundings of the corner soul domain, not allowing any more to get near. They're trying to calculate who spirit controlled the small world. Yimo quickly thanked them and saluted with his fists before flying off. After he was outside of the 2 spirit sense range, he released Blue Moon and flew rapidly towards level 1. He was very clear that the 3 immortal emperors must have noticed something strange about the corner soul domain and might have even guessed it was Wushuang immortal emperor's sea of consciousness. Calculate who spirit controlled the small world. Immortals who were great immortal and above wouldn't believe such a lie. Even if all the people in a low heaven domain died, probably not a single immortal emperor would come to care, much less a small world and a few thousand immortals. Small worlds were valuable to ordinary people but each immortal emperor probably had quite a few. If it was some truth spirit world or chaos world those immortal emperors would come check, but it was impossible they came for a small world and a few thousand low-grade immortals. So, Yimo had to leave as quickly as possible in case he was involved. Luckily what Yimo worried about didn't happen, or perhaps he overestimated himself. He was only a golden immortal. When Yimo came back to the level 1 entrance he found that Marketplace was still there, but they were all strangers. Only a few familiar faces were there. Before they could recognize him, Yimo left with Jin Bingyu rapidly. 2 months later, Yimo brought Jin Bingyu to the asteroid door. Yimo couldn't be bothered finding a group so he just flew into the void himself. This time, his luck was much better. He only encountered an asteroid flow and a void storm group, nothing else very threatening. Even so, Yimo just took 11 days to come back to Farstar Castle. 10 years was really nothing in the immortal realm, it passed in the blink of an eye. Yimo didn't want anyone to notice him so he immediately used the teleportation formation to Gonghua Heaven. Coming out of the teleportation formation Yimo used Blue Moon at full power, flying towards Extreme Sword Sect. Yimo had long planned to immediately leave Gonghua Heaven after sending Jin Bingyu to Extreme Sword Sect and head towards the Middle Heaven domains. In just a few days, Yimo neared the land of Extreme Sword Sect again. Seeing that he would arrive in just 3 hours, Yimo suddenly stopped Blue Moon. What's wrong? Jin Bingyu was excited too. She really wanted to know if her master could save her so she had been constantly noting the distance to Extreme Sword Sect. Yimo frowned. I have a feeling we can't go too fast, it's not very safe ahead. It's Extreme Sword Sect, how can it be not safe? Jin Bingyu looked at Yimo in confusion and seemed to have realized something and added, don't worry, I definitely won't allow my master to attack you nor let the sect do anything to you. My injuries have nothing to do with you. It's Extreme Sword Sect, how can it be not safe? Jin Bingyu looked at Yimo in confusion and seemed to have realized something and added, don't worry, I definitely won't allow my master to attack you nor let the sect do anything to you. My injuries have nothing to do with you. Yimo didn't doubt her words and believed she could do it. Her master's status was very high, seemingly just below the sect leader. Even so, he felt uneasy. Yimo had always trusted his sense for danger. This sense had never been wrong ever since he cultivated 3-birth chant. Yimo stopped and instead changed directions and left. Zhen Bingyu frowned and stared at Yimo asking, "Why?" "Very sorry, I can't go to Extreme Sword Sect, I keep sensing there is danger ahead. If you must go you can release your rainbow stamp. But if you trust me, then I suggest you to not be in a rush to go back." "Wait until I find out why I feel uneasy," Yimo answered heavily. Zhen Bingyu stared at Yimo for a long while and remembered that when she was with Yimo he never seemed to have lied, so she said, "Okay, I choose to believe you. If you don't find out why, I hope you can send me back as soon as possible." Yimo ignored her, that sense of danger was getting denser. He left the nearby area of Extreme Sword Sect rapidly. Zhen Bingyu thought Yimo would go to nearby cities and ask about the sect, but she was soon disappointed. Yimo instead went to further places. Zhen Bingyu knew resistance was futile, so she said no more. She had doubted Yimo many times, but it always ended up with her being wrong, so she chose to believe Yimo this time. She knew that if she really wanted to go back herself, Yimo would agree. A month later, Yimo came to a rather distant city from the sect, Shin Kuei Immortal City. "You had best cover your face." Yimo put away Blue Moon and carried Zhen Bingyu on his back and said. Zhen Bingyu could be said to be the prettiest woman in Gonghua Heaven, people would definitely notice such a woman. He didn't want her to expose her identity. "Okay." Zhen Bingyu took out a face veil and covered her face. Yimo carried Zhen Bingyu to the city gates and found there was a huge statue of an immortal. "That's Shin Kuei Great Emperor, the only immortal emperor to have ever come from Shin Kuei City. The city was built by him," Zhen Bingyu said. Yimo knew about great emperors, one must be immortal emperor peak stage and be revered by other immortals to have such a title. Yu Miaodan didn't expect the low heaven domain that rarely had an immortal king would have an immortal emperor. But he didn't have the mood to ask about this emperor. The magnitude of this city seemed even better than Bai Yi Immortal City. Immortals came flowing by. Yimo took out 100 middle-grade immortal crystals and made 2 temporary jade cards at the city gates and took Zhen Bingyu in. He also recovered his power to be abstruse immortal primary stage. With Zhen Bingyu's guidance, he came to the most popular immortal rest tower in the city. He came here to find news, of course. There were rooms, but they didn't go. He took Zhen Bingyu to one corner in the lounge and ordered 2 cups of immortal spirit tea. Many people came here and quite a lot of people came here to search for news. But most of them were here for cultivation resource-related news. There was a huge display formation at the front of the lounge showing news of forming teams and exchanges. Yimo signaled to Zhen Bingyu and was prepared to find someone to indirectly ask about Extreme Sword Sect when they heard people on the right discussing about it. There were 2 golden immortal cultivators, and even though they weren't loud, Zhen Bingyu could hear them clearly. "If something didn't happen to Minghua, us 3 could have formed a team for this. It's a pity her entire sect has been annihilated. Sigh, the Extreme Sword Sect did nothing to deserve this. Who did they offend? They were just straight up annihilated. They are a sect passed down from the ancient times. Even in the low heaven domain, sects without a status immortal are insects. Yeah, a great eternity immortal sect is high up there in Gonghua Heaven, but it was so easily annihilated. Let's find someone else." Yimo frowned, he didn't expect his sense of danger was Extreme Sword Sect being annihilated. They were first-grade power in Gonghua Heaven, who had the power to dare to annihilate them? Did the Gonghua Heaven's Heaven Lord not say anything? Why were they annihilated? Zhen Bingyu's face was pale. Although she was focused on the Tao, she was only abstruse immortal primary stage. Extreme Sword Sect was where she grew up and her master was there. Now that the sect was annihilated, how could her master be safe? At least she knew Yimo's premonition was right. Yimo was silent. The sect annihilation wasn't what made him feel endangered. He could still go in after the sect was annihilated, but the reason he felt danger meant that there was someone waiting for something there. "Let's go." Yimo got up. He knew staying here was pointless. This place was 1 month away from the sect, but that was just to him. For some powerful beings, it might just be a few hours. Zhen Bingyu was numb. For the first time she lost a sense of direction. Even though she was heavily injured, She wasn't lost like this because she could at least go back to her sect. Now that her sect was gone, where could she go? She didn't know what to do at all now. Yimo told her to leave, so she could only go with Yimo, plus she could only rely on Yimo. An immortal ship flying towards Tang Yarrow Heaven Domain will be passing by here in a day, a golden immortal suddenly said in shock. Isn't Tang Yarrow Heaven a middle-grade heaven domain? Why would a ship going there stop at Shin Kuei Immortal City? It has nothing to do with the city. Heaven Domain flying ships stay to earn immortal crystals. That's true. If that's so, then this is really good news. Good news my ass. Look at how many immortal crystals are needed. Can ordinary immortals afford that? 15 million top-grade immortal crystals for a low-grade seat. Oh my god, this is too terrifying. Yimo saw this news too and immediately carried up Shen Bingyu. Tang Yarrow Heaven was a middle heaven domain. Now that he had such an opportunity, he must go. Ever since he left the Chaos Star realm, he had been feeling uneasy. Lu Zhengquan was like this huge mountain blocking in front of him. Yimo saw this news too and immediately carried up Shen Bingyu. Tang Yarrow Heaven was a middle heaven domain. Now that he had such an opportunity, he must go. Ever since he left the Chaos Star realm, he had been feeling uneasy. Lu Zhengquan was like this huge mountain blocking in front of him. He felt danger in the 11 low heaven domains. This place wasn't good to stay. He must leave the 11 low heaven domains. Even if he couldn't get to the grand 11 heaven domains, the middle 11 heaven domains were good. Yimo was planning to go the middle 11 heaven domains anyways. Yimo left the Immortal Rest Tower with Shen Bingyu. If Shen Bingyu was to go too, then the ticket would cost 30 million top-grade immortal crystals, and Yimo happened to have that much. I want to go to Tang Yarrow Heaven. Are you coming with me or going somewhere else? Yimo asked. If she wanted to go somewhere else, he would be happy to send her over, but only if he could get back on time. Shen Bingyu was still lost. Ever since she was born, her goal was straightforward: cultivate and turn Extreme Sword Sect into a status immortal sect. After she reached status immortal, she would seek to become an immortal emperor and achieve Dao. But half of her life goal has been destroyed. Even after countless years, when she reached status immortal, Extreme Sword Sect wouldn't be able to be what it used to be. I have nowhere to go. Shen Bingyu shook her head. Since you have nowhere to go, come to Tang Yarrow Heaven with me. It's a middle heaven domain. Perhaps we can find a way for you to recover there, Yimo said. Yimo had thought of another way to heal Shen Bingyu, but he wouldn't do that. He had the small sapling in his golden page world. If he gave her to eat it, she would definitely recover. He was injured by that sword tip back in the cultivation realm, and his injuries couldn't recover. However, the small sapling easily healed him when he just got near it. Plus, Lu Zhengquan used so much effort just to cultivate that small sapling. One could see how precious it is. He definitely wouldn't take it out unless someone close to him was about to die. Thinking about that sword tip, Yimo thought of Yimo. He inserted his spirit sense Dao will into it and gave it to Yimo. The notice on the Immortal Rest Tower was clear: those who wanted to go on the immortal ship would need to go to city management and sign up. When Yimo brought Shen Bingyu over, there were more than 10 immortals already, ranging from Golden Immortal to Great Extreme Immortal. But most were abstruse immortals. No one noticed Yimo, an abstruse immortal primary stage, but people immediately started to watch when Yimo carried a heavily injured woman inside. Most immortals in the immortal realm were shrouded in rainbow clouds and appeared like gods, but selfishness was embedded in their bones. Behind their glamorous looks were robbery and ambush. With the limited cultivation resources, if one didn't compete for them, they would be disqualified in the endless pursuit of immortal Dao. Relatively, those sect members of big sects had greater morals. At least with a big sect, they wouldn't easily kill unless there was something truly valuable. These people were confused seeing Yimo carry a heavily injured woman. Most of them were Golden Immortal and above and could easily tell Shen Bingyu couldn't cultivate anymore. Some people saw the perfectly beautiful body of Shen Bingyu and how Yimo was carrying her. They believed that Yimo loved this woman too much to be willing to take out an extra 15 million for her. An abstruse immortal primary stage could take out 30 million top-grade immortal crystals. This was very shocking. Most great immortals wouldn't be able to take out even 10 million top-grade immortal crystals. Just how wealthy was he? This wasn't a middle or grand heaven domain. All the immortals here saved countless years of immortal crystals or were helped by their heritage. At the sign-up place, Yimo paid 30 million top-grade immortal crystals without hesitation and got 2 tickets. Then he sat on the side waiting for the immortal ship. Now Yimo had less than 100k immortal crystals, but he wasn't worried. He would have his way when he went to Tang Yarrow Heaven. The other immortals immediately respected Yimo's ability to pay 30 million top-grade immortal crystals, and some even moved away from the window seat to let Yimo sit down. "Friend, are you from Gonghua Heaven?" one abstruse immortal middle stage asked. Yimo said, "No, I'm from Extreme Wind Heaven. I heard there was a heaven domain flying ship here, so I came wanting to try my luck at the middle heaven domain." Yimo also carefully watched this abstruse immortal. He wore a grey immortal robe and looked very ordinary. But Yimo didn't feel he had any bad intentions. He probably came to talk to him because he easily took out 30 million top-grade immortal crystals. That's right, the immortal spirit Kai in the low heaven domains is too scarce and there aren't enough cultivation resources. It doesn't work at all to fully rely on immortal crystals for cultivation. So I gritted my teeth and took out all my savings to check out the middle heaven domains. I might even be able to reach Great Immortal there, the grey-robed immortal said. Yimo nodded and smiled but said nothing. This grey-robed immortal was very talkative and said again, "Friend, it's quite amazing you could get news of this ship ahead of time. I only got this news by luck. If I got this news at Extreme Wind Heaven, I wouldn't be able to make it for the immortal ship. I'm landishing. I heard it takes a few years to fly there. We're all from low-grade heaven domains. We should get to know each other so we can take care of each other out there," Landishing said. "I'm Yimo, this is my martial sister," Yimo said, but didn't say Zhen Bingyu's name. Soon Yimo got to know Landishing and the 2 others on the side also joined the conversation. One was a female cultivator. She was abstruse immortal middle stage power and called Tan Xiaolian. Another abstruse immortal tertiary stage man was called Xiong Chalin. They all wanted to reach Great Immortal in the middle heaven domain. Yimo's power was the lowest, but no one dared to underestimate him. Tan Xiaolian couldn't compare with Zhen Bingyu in terms of looks, but she was rather good-looking. Xiong Chalin looked ferocious like Yimo when he had just reached immortal nirvana body. But Yimo knew he wasn't a body refinement cultivator. His ferocious temperament was probably natural or due to his trial experiences. Nonetheless, he spoke very amicably. Zhen Bingyu said nothing and no one asked about her. The 3 were all from Gonghua Heaven and were solo cultivators, so they spoke casually. The conversation was very pleasant. There were a few times Yimo wanted to ask about the Extreme Sword Sect, but he resisted the urge. He knew this wasn't a suitable time to ask about it. He could ask when they got on the ship. Nearly 20 more people came and Yimo realized just how much the ship was earning. They could earn this much just by passing by this city. How much could they earn for the entire trip? These immortal crystals are too easy to earn. Tan Xiaolian sighed in admiration. There were 40 people here, and this could bring the immortal ship a few 100 million. How much could they earn for this entire ship? Plus they were only getting low-grade seatings. What about middle grade, top grade, and special grade? Landishing shook his head. Not anyone can earn these immortal crystals. Heaven domain ships can't be obtained by ordinary people. An ordinary one would require a few immortal forgery grandmasters to forge for up to 100 years. The running and maintenance costs of the immortal ship are also quite hefty. On top of that, the immortal ships heading from low heaven domains to middle heaven domains have at least 3 immortal king guards. If that was the case, even if an immortal king was given a heaven domain ship, he wouldn't be able to run it. I heard there is also a teleportation formation from low to middle heaven domains, Tan Xiaolian said. Landishing said, I've heard of it too, but no one knows where the teleportation formations are. Perhaps they don't run or can only be opened during times of emergency. A day passed quickly and the heaven domain ship arrived in time. It stopped at the outskirts of the immortal city. The ship was almost half the size of the city. A day passed quickly and the Heaven Domain ship arrived in time. It stopped at the outskirts of the immortal city. The ship was almost half the size of the city. When Yi Mo and them left the city with the management, they entered the ship from below. It took only a few minutes for the ship to begin flying again once Yi Mo and them entered. After the management left, a great Unity Immortal led them on the ship. He scanned them and said, "Welcome to the Tang Feng Heaven Domain ship. Because you bought low-grade tickets you can only stay at the low-grade deck. The rent of each room is 100k immortal crystals a year." One abstruse immortal tertiary stage was shocked and asked, "Chen Bei, we've already paid the ticket, why do we need to pay rent?" The great Unity Immortal frowned and his tone suddenly went cold. "You mean that after you paid those few immortal crystals you can stay here for free and use the immortal spirit Kai for free?" The abstruse immortal tertiary stage shivered and didn't dare to say anything else. Everyone including Yi Mo realized that they were scammed. The plane ticket didn't include a place to stay. What sort of logic was this? But no one dared to say anything. It was asking for death starting trouble with management here. Yi Mo fell silent. Luckily Zhen Bingyu had some immortal crystals in her storage ring. Otherwise, they wouldn't even have a place to stay. Seeing the rest of the people stay silent, the great Unity Immortal nodded. "Now you can buy room jade cards with me. As for other costs, they will be in each room." Hearing this, everyone realized this was no immortal ship but a scam ship. However, most of the people had decided to stay in their room no matter what. This way, even if other places needed immortal crystals, it wouldn't be their problem. Most people took out immortal crystals to buy a room other than a few individuals. Yi Mo just bought one room, firstly because Zhen Bingyu couldn't even move and protect herself, and secondly since he didn't have that many immortal crystals. He paid for 10 years, 2 rooms would cost 2.4 million. He didn't have that many immortal crystals in his storage ring, only Zhen Bingyu's storage ring still had a few million. After getting a room number, the familiar people greeted each other and went to find their own rooms. The low-grade deck was at the lowest part of the ship in the middle. The immortal spirit Kai was lacking here and there was no spirit gathering formation. It was just a place to stay. As for rooms on the side, they were top-grade decks. The rooms at the top were special-grade decks. Yi Mo got Lodi 298. He told Lan Shengdi and them before quickly going into his room. When he went in the room, he was speechless. 100k immortal crystals a year got him a place was less than 10 square meters. If they weren't cultivators, ordinary people wouldn't be able to stay here at all. They weren't just staying for a year or two but for decades. This place seemed not much better than the corner seat he got on the ship from Blackweed Forest. Yi Mo took out some daily items and placed Zhen Bingyu down. He just noticed that the room was covered with signs full of prices. Go to the top deck and watch the void for a day, 10,000 top-grade immortal crystals. Go to middle-grade deck exchange social, marketplace, 10,000 top-grade immortal crystals a day, top-grade marketplace 30,000 a day. Rent a stall place at middle-grade marketplace, 100,000 top-grade immortal crystals a day. The price list was very long. Yi Mo was speechless, he couldn't even be bothered looking. It cost 10,000 immortal crystals a day just to watch the view. This was the biggest scam he had seen. "You're planning to keep taking me with you like this?" Zhen Bingyu saw Yi Mo turn around and suddenly asked. Yi Mo said plainly, "When I was heavily injured and unconscious you didn't abandon me, so I should take you. Plus I'm going to Tang Yarrow Heaven anyways. In fact, I really want to know what you plan to do." Zhen Bingyu had woken up from that lost state and frowned. After a while, she said, "If possible I want to ask you to help me. As long as my wounds and spirit roots can recover, I can leave myself." Yi Mo nodded. "I don't know what immortal spirit herb is needed for your injuries, but I can definitely tell you I will help you. I'm planning to cultivate and undergo trial at Tang Yarrow Heaven. I will also watch out for how to recover from nirvana failure. Actually, if there is another Chaos Blue Reed I can definitely recover, but I know it's not something common," Zhen Bingyu said helplessly. Other than Yi Mo, there was no one else to help her. She really wanted to know why Extreme Sword Sect would be annihilated. It was a big sect, and even the greatest sect in Gonghua Heaven or the Heaven Lord Estate wouldn't be able to annihilate them so easily. Yi Mo looked around the room. There was no surveillance formation or restrictions. Then he took out some immortal crystals and started to set up a spirit-gathering formation. After Yi Mo set up the formation, he immediately realized why it cost 10k immortal crystals to go watch the view. There was a higher level formation here. Most of the immortal spirit Kai he gathered would be sucked away. Yi Mo was furious. How could one cultivate on this ship? But soon he knew being angry was pointless. He could only say to Zhen Bingyu, "I'll go ask Lan Disheng about the situation. You can cultivate first." "Take me too. I want to know how Extreme Sword Sect was annihilated," Zhen Bingyu said firmly. She knew why Yi Mo was going to Lan Disheng. Just when Lan Disheng was cursing as well, Yi Mo came over. "Brother Yi, why did you come over?" Lan Disheng felt it was strange that Yi Mo carried his martial sister over. Yi Mo saluted with his fists and said, "Brother Lan, I indeed need you for something." Lan Disheng took out 2 chairs and let them sit down before asking, "What do you need help with, Brother Yi?" Yi Mo nodded. "I won't hide it from you, Brother Lan. My martial sister and I came from Extreme Sword Sect." "What?" Lan Disheng almost got up hearing this, but soon he realized what was going on. No wonder Yi Mo said it now. If others knew they were from Extreme Sword Sect, they wouldn't have a life left. "I really didn't expect Brother Yi could escape from that disaster. But Extreme Sword Sect, sigh." Lan Disheng clearly felt pity for Extreme Sword Sect. Yi Mo thanked him and said, "Brother Lan, we didn't escape from there. We went out for trial a decade ago and only just got back. But when we were there we realized the sect was long gone." "So you came to ask why the sect was annihilated?" Lan Disheng realized. "Yes, please tell me, Brother Lan," Yi Mo said. Lan Disheng sighed. "I'm not too certain what happened. I got this news from somewhere else. I can't guarantee if it's accurate or not." "It's fine. Just tell us, Brother Lan." Yi Mo nodded. "Okay." Lan Disheng said, "You know the Freedom King, right?" "Yes," Yi Mo said. Lan Disheng nodded. 2 years ago, that Freedom King suddenly headed towards Extreme Sword Sect. It should be a happy thing that an immortal king was visiting them, and indeed the entire sect was very happy. They even invited him to preach the Tao there, but what the sect leader and the elders didn't expect was that he suddenly asked the sect leader to marry Zhen Bingyu to him as his concubine. Zhen Bingyu's face changed. She pulled down her veil. Her eyes were full of guilt. She never expected things to have happened due to her. She remembered when she stopped Yi Mo and was scanned by Freedom King's spirit sense. The trouble had begun there. "So your martial sister Bingyu." Lan Disheng quickly got up and saluted with his fists. Did martial sister Bingyu's master not agree, and so Freedom King used this to annihilate the entire sect? Yi Mo asked. Yi Mo was sneering. Yi Mo didn't believe an immortal king would annihilate a sect for something as trivial as this. If he really wanted Zhen Bingyu, he could have easily taken her before. Why would he wait till now? Lan Disheng looked at Yi Mo in surprise, not knowing if he heard something or guessed it himself. Lan Disheng looked at Yi Mo in surprise, not knowing if he heard something or guessed it himself. But he immediately nodded. Yes, Freedom King was furious and attacked on the spot. A while after the Extreme Sword Sect was annihilated, I heard some other news that Qin Qian Bei got Pengyu Immortal Fruit. Pengyu Immortal Fruit? Yi Mo stared at Lan Disheng in shock. How could there be Pengyu Immortal Fruit in a low heaven domain? Even if there were, it would probably have to be in the depths of the Blackweed Forest. Even if an immortal king went there, he might not survive. Qin Peifu dared to go. Pengyu Immortal Fruit was a level 7 immortal spirit herb and could be used to concoct Yi King pills. Pengyu Immortal Fruit was top grade level 7, not even ordinary level 8 immortal spirit herbs were as valuable as it. Lan Disheng smiled awkwardly. This is just what I heard. I heard that Freedom King heard that Qin Qian Bei got Pengyu Immortal Fruit and wanted to buy it from him. Qin Qian Bei wasn't willing, so Freedom King used this excuse. Yi Mo frowned and Lan Disheng said again, I heard another piece of news saying that sect leader Qin's daughter brought back a Tao partner. That Tao partner was an immortal pill master and had missed Lotus Heartfire. Yi Mo didn't expect he was involved too. Landishing continued, the Freedom King has a heaven flame called South Abyssal Hollow Flame. It's purple Nirvana level 3, so he really wanted the Mist Lotus Heartfire, but he was told the Pillmaster was nowhere to be seen. Yimo knew the flames a lot. South Abyssal Hollow Flame was ranked 7th of the 108 types of flames. It had a special attribute, and that was when it was purple Nirvana level 3, it needs to devour a 9 clear flame to reach level 4 immortal flame. Mist Lotus Heartfire was a type of 9 clear flame. I don't know for which reason it is exactly, Landishing said, and also realized why Yimo was so wealthy. He came from a great eternity immortal sect. Brother Lan, may I ask if everyone in the sect was killed or whether some people escaped? Zhen Bingyu worried about her master the most. Landishing shook his head. That I don't know. I heard some escaped, but I didn't even dare to get close to the extreme sword sect with my power, so I don't know the specifics. Thank you, Brother Lan. Yimo was very grateful to Landishing. It was quite amazing that he knew this much. The sect wasn't annihilated for a simple reason. Otherwise, he wouldn't sense danger after it was annihilated. Someone was still waiting there. Landishing quickly said, it's a small thing, no big deal, I've only heard about it on the way. Then he said angrily, this ship is too greedy, we paid 15 million top-grade immortal crystals and now we need to pay 2 million to stay for 10 years. They're robbing us of immortal crystals. I don't know what there is in this room, it's just an empty room and this costs a 200,000 immortal crystal deposit. I'm certain that in the end they will say the room was damaged a little and the 200k won't be given back. Yimo said, we're under a roof so we have to keep our heads low. We may have paid a lot of immortal crystals now, but once we get to Tang Yarrow Heaven we might earn more. Not everyone has the opportunity to go to a middle heaven domain. That's true, we can only think that way now, Landishing said. Yimo carried up Zhen Bingyu and said, then I'll be going first, we'll chat again when we're free. Landishing agreed and sent the two out of his room. Although the extreme sword sect was annihilated, it was still a great eternity immortal sect. There were foundations, who knew when it would rise again? So after knowing the two were from the sect, Landishing was very polite. For the first time, Zhen Bingyu didn't have the mood to cultivate. Yimo didn't talk to her either. He was thinking about that Freedom King. He had seen him before and could remember his Kai. If he stayed at Gonghua Heaven, he might one day be found. Thinking about this, Yimo rejoiced that he made the decision to come here. A few days later, Yimo felt bored. Zhen Bingyu was patient and could still go cultivate. Yimo couldn't take it. He couldn't cultivate in this small room nor concoct pills nor forge. Even if Zhen Bingyu knew he had the golden page world, he didn't dare to go into it. He was asking to die if he went into the golden page world when near an immortal king. He almost exposed everything when the Freedom King just suppressed him with spirit sense. Although he was just a golden immortal at the time, he didn't feel he could withstand it just because he was abstruse immortal now. I want to go out, Yimo looked at Zhen Bingyu and said. Zhen Bingyu stopped cultivation and asked Yimo, do you want to ask where you can earn immortal crystals? Yimo nodded. That's right, we have just 2 million immortal crystals combined. This scam ship isn't so simple, if we run out of immortal crystals and they kick us out, it will be no good. Okay, be careful. For the first time, Zhen Bingyu told Yimo to be careful. It seemed she also knew that their fates were entwined together. This ship was like a moving immortal city. Although one couldn't see the entire shape of the ship from here, Yimo knew the ship was huge. It was hard to believe that this was a ship. One could only imagine how many materials were wasted on this ship that couldn't change size nor be taken into a storage ring. In the low-grade decks, spirit sense couldn't be scanned out, and Yimo didn't dare to scan his spirit sense out anyways. Yimo walked forward in the narrow corridor for a few thousand meters before seeing a huge exit sign. There were 2 arrows, one pointing to the exit of the low-grade deck and one pointing towards the marketplace. Yimo didn't know if it would be middle-grade deck going out from here, but he wouldn't go to middle-grade deck now. He turned and chose the marketplace. Yimo saw a few more diverging paths on the way. Yimo knew they were all residential areas. Yimo sighed again, wondering just how much this ship was making. As he walked onwards, there were more and more people. Many of them were planning to go to the marketplace like Yi Mo. There were many people here. When he saw that even for the low-grade marketplace he needed to pay 1,000 immortal crystals to go in, he was speechless. It seemed going anywhere in this ship cost money. Just when he wanted to go in, he saw an abstruse immortal primary stage explain something to the marketplace management. No, the Great Unity Immortal Manager rejected. What's going on? Yi Mo asked the cultivator on the side. The cultivator shook his head. He doesn't have 1,000 immortal crystals, so he was stopped. If you don't hand over the immortal crystals or take out something in exchange of value, I will take you to law enforcement, the Great Unity Immortal reproached. Seeing that abstruse immortal cultivator so desperate, Yi Mo knew he really didn't have 1,000 immortal crystals. He quickly walked over and gave 1,000 immortal crystals to the Great Unity Immortal. I'll help him pay, let him out. The Great Unity Immortal glared coldly at Yi Mo and took the immortal crystals, but his eyes were full of contempt. Seeing Yi Mo pay for someone else, all the immortals shook their heads. Yi Mo was poor, but 1,000 immortal crystals were nothing to him. Plus, when he was at the Bai Yi Immortal City's gates, he didn't have immortal crystals to go in. Finally, the abstruse immortal could come out of the marketplace and he thanked Yi Mo greatly. It's a mere 1,000 immortal crystals, nothing to be thankful about. But since you don't have enough immortal crystals, why come to the marketplace? Yi Mo asked. The abstruse immortal sighed. Friend, you must have been here only for a short while, right? Do you think you can stay inside the house and not come out so you don't have to pay immortal crystals? If that's what you think, you'll soon end up like me. Hearing this, Yi Mo knew this abstruse immortal had been here for at least a few years. Hearing this, Yi Mo knew this abstruse immortal had been here for at least a few years. Yi Mo immediately changed his idea of going on and pointed at a spirit rest tower not far away. Friend, if you have time, let's go in and have a talk. The abstruse immortal knew what Yi Mo meant and nodded. Yi Mo knew that even the best immortal rest tower in the Immortal City wouldn't cost more than 100 immortal crystals for 2 hours. Ordinary rooms only cost 10 immortal crystals or even just a few immortal crystals. But when they entered a birdcage-sized room, it cost 500 top-grade immortal crystals for just 15 minutes. Seeing Yi Mo pay 1,000 immortal crystals for half an hour, the abstruse immortal's heart ached. If it was him, he wouldn't dare to spend this much in here. Yi Mo knew the value of immortal crystals on the ship, but he thought differently. In a place like this, if immortal crystals were limited, then there was no use in just saving. It would only delay using up your immortal crystals by a few days. It couldn't solve the problem from the root. The biggest problem was how to earn immortal crystals on the ship. Yi Mo knew pill concoction and forgery, but this was an immortal ship. Even if materials weren't limited, people needed to have the immortal crystals to buy them. Yi Mo asked for 2 cups of immortal spirit tea. The abstruse immortal drank this extremely low-quality tea and yet moaned in satisfaction. Clearly he hadn't been using immortal crystals for cultivation for a long time. I'm Wu Litsong, thank you for helping me, friend. However, I will definitely be sent to do labor soon, the abstruse immortal said apologetically. Yi Mo waved his hand. I'm Yi Mo, I believe you know why I came to you. I want to ask about the situation here. Can you tell me what doing labor is? Wu Litsong sighed. The Heaven Domain immortal ship sounds good, but it is disgusting. Going anywhere here requires immortal crystals. If you use up your immortal crystals, you will be kicked out of your place and sent into the lowest or refinery deck. Immortals without immortal crystals are kicked down there. Thousands of immortals stay in one big deck refining void secret silver. Many immortals refine void secret silver endlessly in a place without immortal spirit Kai, so eventually they die. Void secret silver was refined from void asteroids. It was a top-grade material for forging immortal artifacts. Depending on its quality, it could range from a level 4 to level 6 immortal material. The top grade might even reach level 7. Void secret silver could be used to set up long-distance teleportation formations or forge void element magic artifacts. It was highly valued, but the only drawback was that it was too hard to refine. Because these things only existed in void asteroids, even a mountain-sized asteroid wouldn't have much void secret silver. The ship flew in the void, so of course people could get the asteroids, but then they needed people to refine them. Realizing this, Yemo's heart went cold. They were so cruel. After the immortals of the low-grade decks have been stripped of their immortal crystals, they could only go refine the void secret silver, or they wouldn't even have an opportunity to survive. Because I have no immortal crystals, I took out the only pills I had left to sell off at the marketplace, but the thing was that no matter how low I set the price, I was unable to sell them and instead owed 1,000 immortal crystals for the entrance fee. The people here want me to have no immortal crystals, so I will have to go refine ores. Now that you helped me pay the immortal crystals, the Great Unity Immortal Manager would definitely hate you. You need to be careful, Wu Litsong said. Yemo nodded and asked again, why is it that even if you stay in your place and not go out you still have to pay immortal crystals? Wu Litsong sighed. Because there will often be heaven domain storms or even more terrifying natural disasters flying in the void. Every year, people come and take ship maintenance fees. Hearing this, Yemo almost wanted to curse. This wasn't an immortal ship, this was hell. One couldn't earn immortal crystals in the ship, and each day they would be spending immortal crystals. Even the wealthiest person would be drained. How do the immortals here earn immortal crystals? Yemo asked. There are places to earn immortal crystals, but they are mostly at the top deck. In the lower deck, one can only seek some opportunities in the marketplace. Of course you can ask to refine ores and can earn immortal crystals by refining asteroids, but that depends on how much you can refine. Sometimes, you might refine an entire asteroid and not find a single drop of void secret silver, Wu Litsong said. How do you earn immortal crystals at the top deck? Top-grade decks are where the wealthy people are at. You can sell things of value at the marketplace, but the store price is too high and the standards of those immortals there are also too high. You can't sell ordinary things. Other than that, you can also contribute when the ship encounters natural disasters, but the contribution and the immortal crystals you receive aren't equal. Of course you can find asteroids outside the ship and sell it to the ship. Just that. It's said that there are also gladiator arenas in the middle and top-grade decks. If you go in and win you can earn immortal crystals. Casino, pill concoction, forgery, as long as you have the capability or the money to go to the top and middle-grade decks to do business, you have an opportunity to earn immortal crystals. But I've always been at the lower decks, so I don't know. Seeing that Yemo was interested, he quickly said, don't go to middle grade and top grade decks so easily, that's an endless drain. Many people want to get a stall to earn immortal crystals, but in the end they lose out and can only go refine ores. By the way, I heard there were immortal kings on the ship. Will we be able to see immortal kings? Yemo asked. Wu Litsong looked at Yemo speechlessly. Immortal king masters are all at the top-grade cultivation rooms of the special deck. How can they come out? They're all in solitary cultivation. Unless there are special circumstances, they won't even be seen at special-grade decks. Yemo breathed easy. As long as he didn't see immortal kings it was good. I understand, thank you. Yemo got up. Wu Litsong shook his head. He knew this abstruse immortal probably wouldn't listen to him. When he suffered, he would know he didn't lie to him. Yemo and Wu Litsong went down the stairs. Just as Wu Litsong thought, he indeed wanted to go to the middle grade area or top grade area to have a look. Seeing Yemo about to leave, Wu Litsong added, Brother Yi, try to not have conflict with people here. Wu Litsong explained, that's because this is a place where you can kill. Power is reason. The managers won't say anything. If there is conflict between two immortals, one of them can challenge the other. If you don't agree, you must compensate with immortal crystals. If you don't have immortal crystals, then your opponent can tell you off to the managers and your storage ring will be taken and you will be sent to or refinery. There's no reason at all? Yemo frowned and asked. No reason at all, Wu Litsong answered. If you agree to the challenge you will have to go to the battle arena, usually only one returns. Wu Litsong added, Brother Yi, if you offend someone then it's pointless to even stay at where you live. People can break into your place to challenge you and not be held responsible. You will have to pay for the damages. If you are killed, He can get all your belongings and can pay the damages too. The immortal ship doesn't care. As long as they get compensation, it is fine by them. Hearing this, Yimo realized it was very wrong of him to help Wu Litsong pay immortal crystals today. Wu Litsong felt bad and thus told him that much. Him paying for Wu Litsong meant he was wealthy. According to what he said, anyone could look for trouble with him. There was no reason at all. Thinking about this, Yimo said goodbye and quickly left. After walking for a few hundred meters, Yimo knew he was being followed, but he didn't stop. Moments later Yimo came to his room, but he was furious to see an abstruse immortal smashing the room's restrictions. The immortal smashing the restriction saw Yimo come back and stopped. He felt it was strange. He should have long broken the door, but it had been this long and the restriction only just started to loosen. The immortal smashing the restriction saw Yimo come back and stopped. He felt it was strange. He should have long broken the door, but it had been this long and the restriction only just started to loosen. Yimo looked coldly at this cultivator. He was abstruse immortal tertiary stage and looked very ferocious. There were some people hiding to the side, but no one dared to get close. Hee, you're back, perfect, the abstruse immortal said without any worry. If it was before, Yimo would be furious and even ask for the low-grade deck manager, but now he didn't think of that at all. You want to ask me to go to the battle arena, right? Yimo asked without any anger. The abstruse immortal tertiary stage was dazed. He didn't come to Yimo for a fight, he just wanted to scam some immortal crystals and then take Yimo's female cultivator for a few days. You dare to fight me? The abstruse immortal tertiary stage seemed to have heard of the funniest thing in the world. Wait, before Yimo could answer, the two abstruse immortal cultivators following Yimo also came. One was abstruse immortal tertiary stage and one abstruse immortal middle stage. You have no right to challenge someone. I've challenged you already. I'm Han Bu. It was the abstruse immortal tertiary stage who followed Yimo. He had an average build but his eyes were very fierce. He wasn't planning to fight with Yimo, but seeing Yimo challenged by someone he would have no chance if that happened. So, he said it quickly. What about you? Yimo looked plainly at the abstruse immortal middle stage cultivator. The abstruse immortal middle stage smiled. Of course I'm challenging you, but since Brother Han has already done so I have no business. Seeing this, the ferocious abstruse immortal immediately realized what was going on. He quickly said, I, Shu Buchen, came first. Are you going to go against the rules? Han Bu was an abstruse immortal tertiary stage just like him. Yimo said with annoyance, shut up. I'll take my martial sister from my room first and then we'll go to the arena. I'll challenge all three of you. And you, what's your name? Hearing this, Han Bu and Shu Buchen were dazed. The abstruse immortal middle stage didn't dare to believe his ears. A mere abstruse immortal primary stage dared to challenge two abstruse immortal tertiary stage and one abstruse immortal middle stage? The immortals watching this were all shocked too. After dazing for a while, the abstruse immortal middle stage subconsciously answered, I'm Xia Jingdao, but then he wondered why he answered. Yimo ignored the two and opened the door's restriction. He saw Zhen Bingyu sitting inside worriedly. What happened? Zhen Bingyu saw Yimo come back and immediately breathed easy. Yimo carried Zhen Bingyu on his back and took everything in the room and said, a few blind people want to fight me. We'll go to the battle arena now. This isn't a place to stay for long. After the talk with Wu Litsong, Yimo had decided to leave the low-grade decks. He believed he could get a place in the middle-grade or even top-grade deck. Unlike other immortals, he was an immortal pill great master and an immortal forgery great master. Why are you fighting? Zhen Bingyu asked. Yimo explained, people can be killed here and they can smash your place. If your fist is bigger than others then you can go to the battle arena and kill people. There's such a thing. Zhen Bingyu was shook. Seeing the three still look at him dazedly, Yimo said coldly, lead the way, we'll go to the battle arena. You're going to challenge us three? Shu Buchen asked in disbelief. This wasn't some other place where if you agreed you could still trick them and run away. This was the immortal ship, if you agreed you would have to go. Do you want to fight here then? If you do, I can stay with you, but I need to tell the low-grade deck manager first. No, I don't dare to fight here. Shu Buqing was lost for words. Yeah, I thought so. Yi Mo carried Zhen Bingyu out and asked a golden immortal peak stage on the side, where is the battle arena? The golden immortal peak stage quickly pointed at a tunnel. That way, Qian Bei, there's a sign at the end of the passage. Thank you. Yi Mo nodded and then looked back at the three. I'll be waiting for you three at the battle arena. If you don't dare to come, then I'll report you to the manager. Seeing Yi Mo quickly disappear, the three looked at each other. They were here to force Yi Mo to give immortal crystals, but now they were really fighting. He's a mere abstruse immortal primary stage. Can I be afraid of him? I'm taking that female immortal. Shu Buqing snarled and followed. At the end of the tunnel there was indeed a sign for the battle arena. After going past it, Yi Mo came to a huge square. There was a stage in the center. Yi Mo looked at this stage speechlessly. This immortal ship was really eerie. The places people lived in were like bird cages, but this battle arena was insanely big. We're going to middle grade deck after the battle? Zhen Bingyu asked, knowing that Yi Mo had no pressure killing them. Yes, we must leave here. There's no opportunity to survive in the low-grade decks. You saw it. Even if you stay in the room, there will be people smashing your door. Such things won't occur if you go to the middle grade or top grade decks. Plus, the ship often taxes immortal crystals. The few immortal crystals we have aren't even enough for them, Yi Mo said. Zhen Bingyu nodded. Her fate was tied with Yi Mo's. If Yi Mo was killed, she might as well commit suicide. She knew the cruelty of the immortal realm and knew there wouldn't be another person on this ship who would treat her like Yi Mo. When Yi Mo got here, there was no one at the battle arena. When Yi Mo entered, immortals soon rushed in. News of Yi Mo challenging the three quickly spread out. Wu Lizong stood at one corner guiltily. Those people came to Yi Mo due to him. What was more shocking was that Yi Mo was still carrying a woman on his back while fighting. Did the two want to die together, or could the woman help him? While people were discussing, Yi Mo took out a chair and placed Zhen Bingyu on the chair and moved it not far below the stage. Yi Mo knew that even if he carried Zhen Bingyu, he could easily beat them, but the rules here were determined by the managers. If the manager insisted that he fought with help, he would be punished. Seeing Yi Mo put her down, the immortals breathed easy. They thought the abstruse immortal primary stage was really so powerful to dare to fight while carrying someone. Many people saw Zhen Bingyu now. Her immaculate beauty and perfect figure immediately caught the attention of many immortals. The days on this ship was definitely boring. If one had such a beautiful female immortal to accompany them, it would be very good. I'll come, Shu Buqing said first and went on the stage before the other two could talk. Yi Mo guessed Shu Buqing would come up first. Kid, since you want to die, I will grant your wish. Shu Buqing snarled and released his magic artifact. It was a middle-grade immortal artifact, a metal gourd. As soon as it came out, the battle arena froze. With Shu Buqing's immortal essence, it formed a gourd-shaped binding space. He wanted to use his gourd's frost and immortal essence to suppress Yi Mo. Yi Mo was an immortal forgery great master, and he could tell that this metal gourd was good material made with trash technique. This was definitely extreme-grade deep-sea frost metal, but the forger's capabilities were lacking. Yi Mo released Zi Shu and hacked out with illusion cloud formation kill strike. Countless purple sword rays formed a trap formation that locked the rapidly expanding metal gourd. His immortal essence and spirit sense were far higher than Shu Buqing's, but he was truly helpless now. If he wasn't on the battle arena, he would just smash down with his world rock. Even 100 Shu Buqings would be killed. Even if he didn't use the world rock and used multiple lightning arcs or use an illusion cloud Hua mountain strike, he could kill Shu Buqing. But he didn't dare to take out the world rock unless he was in a life and death situation. He wouldn't use the lightning sword either. He knew if he was to kill an abstruse immortal tertiary stage as abstruse immortal primary stage, he would have to fight evenly and barely kill him in the end. If he came up and instantly killed Shu Buqing, then no good would come to him on this ship. Crack Yi Mo's purple sword rays clashed with the metal gourd, but it didn't trap the gourd and instead splashed out. Shu Buqing was quite shocked that Yimo's sword rays stopped his metal gourd. Then, he immediately felt that his immortal essence was about to lose control of the gourd. Luckily the purple sword rays came and went quickly and soon were at the end of their momentum. Shu Buqing breathed easy. Yimo's immortal essence wasn't potent enough. Shu Buqing sneered while Yimo retreated. Just this power and he dared to challenge two abstruse immortal tertiary stage cultivators? At this moment, he inserted more immortal essence into the gourd and multiple frost rays shot out of the gourd, cracking the space nearby. Yimo took tens of steps back with a pale face and barely stood. Shu Buqing pressed the attack and completely charged at Yimo with his gourd. The frost kai loomed over Yimo. All the people below the stage looked disappointed. They thought that since Yimo dared to challenge the three he should be quite strong, but now Yimo was about to be defeated. Han Biyu and Xia Jingdao regretted greatly. They would have gone up already if they knew things would be like this. Han Biyu looked at Zhen Bingyu sitting on the side and regretted. This female immortal crystal was an extreme beauty. Even if he sold her to the immortals of the top-grade deck, he would get at least a few million immortal crystals. Only Zhen Bingyu knew what Yimo thought. She knew Yimo didn't dare to fight at full might. Thud the metal gourd smashed on Yimo's chest and Yimo was sent flying by the metal gourd. Shu Buqing chased up and snarled, "You know, you're the weakest abstruse immortal primary stage I've seen. Just this power and you dare to challenge me." He knew his metal gourd had heavily injured Yimo. At the same time he locked onto Yimo and reached for Yimo's neck. At this moment, he suddenly saw a smirk on Yimo's lips while a cold voice sounded in his sea of consciousness. "You know, fighting with you is very annoying. I can't even use 10% of my real power. I need to pretend to fight evenly with you, idiot." Before Shu Buqing could react, he immediately felt his immortal essence cripple. That purple sword was already in his dantian and sucked his essence spirit, shattering it. There was extreme terror in Shu Buqing's eyes. He wanted to ask how Yimo did it, but he couldn't say anything anymore. His meridians were being torn by Yimo's immortal essence that was immensely stronger than his. There was a thud and Shu Buqing fell down with extreme dissatisfaction. Yimo took Shu Buqing's storage ring and gourd before burning Shu Buqing to dust with inner fire. At this moment, the immortals below the stage reacted. Just when they all thought Yimo would be killed by Shu Buqing, instead it was Shu Buqing who died. People couldn't believe this sudden turn of events. Yimo clearly had the lower hand throughout the battle, so how was Shu Buqing killed? Brother Pan, what do you think? At the corner two low-grade deck managers watched. The one asking was the great Unity Immortal who gave Yimo and them jade cards. The Immortal next to him thought for a moment and said, if that Shu Buqing didn't underestimate him, he should have been able to win. That Yimo isn't simple either. Although he's no match for Shu Buqing, he's much more cunning than him. He took a hit from the metal gourd purposely and ambushed Shu Buqing. The great Unity Immortal nodded. He probably has immortal armor to protect him from injury. Otherwise, he would be heavily injured from that blow. He's already heavily injured, didn't you see him secretly eat pills? His footsteps seem weak too. He won't have such luck in his next fight with Han Biyu, the other person said. Han Biyu was dazed too. He was regretting he didn't go up earlier before, but now Shu Buqing was killed. If he went up, would he be killed too? Although he saw that Shu Buqing was killed due to his carelessness, he began to fear a little. Yimo seemed to be recovering and stood on the stage resting for a long while. Then, he said to Han Biyu coldly, Han Biyu, why don't you come up? Are you going to fight me from below the stage? The immortals laughed. Hearing such laughter, Han Biyu immediately flew up to the stage. You're quite lucky, you killed an abstruse immortal tertiary stage. If you hand over your storage ring now and go to the refinery deck, I can let you go. Han Biyu sneered. Yimo hacked out with Zishu straight up. Cut the bullshit, hurry up and fight. Han Biyu's magic artifact was a red band. He was much more careful than Shu Buqing. He also released a huge shield at the same time. The red band turned into a ravaging ocean of blood, turning the battle arena red. Yimo's purple sword rays seemed like a boat that was about to be sunk at any time. So you only have such power and you dare to be cocky. Han Bu, who was a little scared of Yi Mo, saw that his purple sword rays were completely wrapped by his red band and immediately breathed easy as he inserted more immortal essence into it. The redness became more volatile and rolled non-stop. Yi Mo was completely invisible now, as though being flooded by this sea of red. Even the immortals outside the arena could feel the fierce killing intent of the Red Sea. Brother Pan, who do you think will win? The Great Unity Immortal Manager asked again. Brother Pan frowned and said, theoretically Yi Mo will be killed for sure, but why do I have a strange feeling? Brother Pan frowned and said, theoretically Yi Mo will be killed for sure, but why do I have a strange feeling? Brother Pan, you're right. Although Yi Mo is enveloped in the red band, he can protect himself, at least for now. It looks like he's having trouble, but if Han Bu makes any mistakes he will be in danger too. But with his abstruse immortal tertiary stage power, he should have experienced quite some battles. It's not very likely for him to make a mistake, so Yi Mo is dead for sure. The Great Unity Immortal nodded. The other immortal nodded in agreement. This Yi Mo must have experienced a lot of battles to be able to stay alive despite having weaker immortal essence and spirit sense than his opponent. He's no simple character. Hehe, let's see if he can survive this barrage of attacks. If he makes one mistake, he is finished today, the Great Unity Immortal said. But the possibility you mentioned exists. If Han Bu makes one mistake, he might be ambushed by Yi Mo, Brother Pan said. Yi Mo was having a hard time right now, but not to stay alive. If he really wanted to fight, 10 Han Bus would be dead. But he had to endure it as he felt 2 spirit senses watching him from beyond the square. These 2 spirit senses were on par with his spirit sense. Clearly they belonged to Great Unity Immortals. Usually, Great Unity Immortal rarely lived at low-grade decks. Even if they did, they would soon move to the middle deck. Even if they didn't move, they wouldn't come and watch mere abstruse immortal battles. This meant that these 2 Great Unity Immortals were probably the managers of the ship. Thus, he didn't dare to expose his real strength at all. The battle turned into a stalemate. Most immortals thought Yi Mo was dead for sure, but half an hour had passed and the Red Sea was still ravaging, meaning that Yi Mo wasn't dead. Han Bu attacked with full power, but he found that many times he was about to kill Yi Mo yet he was fine. Did he really have such power? Thinking that Yi Mo might really not be scared of him, Han Bu was shook. If Yi Mo was waiting for him to use up his immortal essence and spirit sense and then attack, he would be finished. Just when he lost his focus, he felt his body go cold. Not good. Before he could release his shield, he felt his dantian go cold. He thought of how Shu Bucheng died and realized he was now in the same predicament. Han Bu was much smarter than Shu Bucheng and instantly realized that Yi Mo was acting weak and purposely fought with him for a long while. Yi Mo seemed to know what he thought and sound transmission to him coldly, "You guessed right, thanks for the storage ring delivery. No, I can go to the refinery deck." Han Bu really wanted to say this, but Yi Mo wasn't going to give him the opportunity. Zishu twisted and his essence spirit dissipated. Han Bu knew he was done for. The ravaging blood sea fell down and turned back into the red band. The next moment, the stage was dead silent. Yi Mo suddenly killed Han Bu. What was going on? What happened? The Great Unity Immortal Manager asked in shock. He knew Yi Mo had a chance to win, but that chance was close to 0, yet now Yi Mo really won. The Pan Immortal sighed. Just as I guessed, if Han Bu lost focus for just the slightest moment, he would be killed by Yi Mo. If Yi Mo heard this, he might go up and shake his hand and say, "You really know me well, thanks for appreciating my act." The Great Unity Immortal frowned. He felt this was strange, but he saw the battle with his own eyes. The stage fell silent for a few seconds before the audience bursting out into a clamor. Xie Jingdao's face was pale like paper. He was the weakest amongst the 3, and now the 2 people stronger than him were killed. How could he stay alive if he went up? He really regretted following them now. While he was still worried, Yi Mo suddenly looked coldly at him. "Xie Jingdao, it's your turn. Hurry up and fight. After the fight I'm going to the middle grade deck to buy things." Xie Jingdao shivered. "He, go up and die," many immortals said. Xia Jingdao quickly said, I admit defeat, I'll give my storage ring and go to the refinery or. There was only life and death in the arena, but if one person was willing to forfeit his storage ring and go to the refinery or, then his opponent could choose to let him go. Xia Jingdao quickly handed his storage ring to Zhen Bingyu and looked at Yimo piss off. Yimo couldn't be bothered with killing such a person. There were two great Unity Immortals watching him, his fights didn't feel satisfying. Yes, I'll piss off. Xia Jingdao quickly fled. Everyone knew he was finished. An abstruse immortal middle stage without a storage ring could only go to the ore refinery and would never be able to get out. When Yimo got off the stage and carried Zhen Bingyu again, the nearby immortals were all fearful of him and moved aside. At this place, power was respect. If you had power, people would respect you. Without power, even if you made friends with everyone here, you would find you were by yourself when trouble occurred. Seeing Yimo carry Zhen Bingyu out, Wu Lizong was still in shock. He completely didn't expect Yimo to be this powerful. Brother Yi, you're powerful indeed, Lan Disheng raised his thumb and said. Yimo nodded. Thanks for supporting me, Brother Lan. I'm going to leave the lower deck and go to the middle deck to do some business there. If I can survive, Brother Lan can come to me. Lan Disheng was dazed. Yimo's foresight was much higher than his. He was planning to hide in his room for a few years. Brother Lan, I heard that even if you don't go out of the room they will collect immortal crystals from you. You need to be prepared, Yimo reminded. Lan Disheng's face looked bad. I've heard about this and that's why I wanted to find you and the others and discuss what to do. Then he sighed. One can't survive in the lower deck indeed. More than 70% will go to or refinery. It's correct that you want to go to the middle deck. You go first, I'll discuss with the rest and might follow after a while. Okay, in that case I will say goodbye for now, Yimo said and quickly left the arena with Zhen Bingyu. He felt that offending that marketplace manager wasn't a good thing. He wanted to leave here as soon as possible. Chapter 1623, Renting a Stall. Chapter 1623, Renting a Stall. You're going to the middle deck. The immortal at the entrance glanced at Zhen Bingyu on Yimo's back and asked. Yes, do I need to make any applications? Yimo asked calmly. No, how long are you going to stay at the middle deck? If it's 2 people, it will be 20,000 immortal crystals a day. Are you sure it's 2 people? You need to confirm how long are you going to stay there, the immortal continued. Don't you only pay immortal crystals if you go to the marketplace? Yimo asked. The immortal threw a jade card at Yimo. Go back to your room and check the pricing again. I'm only responsible for taking immortal crystals, not responsible for teaching you. Yimo knew he didn't look at the pricing table properly. He didn't expect them to truly take immortal crystals for going anywhere. I'm going in for a month, how much for 2 people? Yimo asked. He didn't need to argue such a thing with them, he wouldn't win. Oh, 1 month. The immortal looked up and said, for 1 month you get a discount, 500,000 immortal crystals for 2 of you. Yimo just took out 500,000 immortal crystals and gave them to the manager. Seeing Yimo being straightforward, the manager nodded and took Yimo's jade card to write some information inside before handing it back to Yimo. You need to pay for more if you don't plan to leave in 1 month. Otherwise, there will be heavy punishment. Yimo nodded and carried Zhen Bingyu away. He didn't want to talk to this guy at all anymore. Interesting, an abstruse immortal primary stage carrying a heavily injured female immortal dares to go to the middle deck. I'll wait for you to come back crying with your sexy Dao partner to go to the ore refinery. The immortal sneered. Not long after Yimo left, 2 immortals came. It was the Great Unity Immortal and the Manager Pang. The Great Unity Immortal immediately asked, Manager Pang, did an abstruse immortal primary stage carrying a female immortal just go to the middle deck? That's right. The manager wasn't very hospitable to the Great Unity Immortal. The Great Unity Immortal looked back at Pan. Brother Pan, what do you think? Never mind, we have to pay immortal crystals to go to the middle deck. Plus, it's pointless if we go to the middle deck. We can't bring him down here. He will come back eventually. When he comes back we can still ask him, Pan said. The great unity immortal nodded. That's true, a mere abstruse immortal primary stage dares to go to the middle deck. We'll go back and wait for him. At this moment, Yimo saw that the middle deck immortal spirit Kai was many times better than in the lower deck. He could at least cultivate in ordinary places. No wonder so many people wanted to come to the middle deck. He would go ask later how much it cost to live in the middle deck. The top deck must have even better immortal spirit Kai. Zhenbingyu sighed. Yimo said heavily, if there are only 10 years then we don't need to go to the top deck. If there's too much time, we'll still go to the top deck. The immortal spirit Kai here isn't enough for us to cultivate. We don't even have a place to stay. Where do we go? Zhenbingyu asked. I checked those 3 storage rings. There are only about 7 million immortal crystals altogether. With our immortal crystals, we barely have 8 million. This is our starting money in the middle deck, Yimo said heavily. What if we fail in the middle deck? Zhenbingyu asked. I won't go to the ore refinery after we use up our immortal crystals. I will go to the void before we use them up. Yimo hadn't been to the ore refinery, but he could guess that was pretty much a place of no return. Zhenbingyu nodded. If you go to the void, please take me with you. Without Yimo, she might as well die on this ship. Yimo sighed. He would rather go to the void alone. He had the golden page world and he wouldn't die in there, but it was very hard to say he could remain safe if he took Zhenbingyu. However, he knew that if he didn't take her, her fate on this ship would be tragic. When Yimo brought Zhenbingyu all the way to the residential area, he realized how big of a difference there was between this place and the lower deck. The streets were the same size as ordinary immortal city streets. Many cultivation homes were protected by high-level formations. There were big and small, luxurious and ordinary cultivation homes. Also, one didn't see immortals fighting so frequently. There were rarely commercial buildings in the residential area, but there were some immortal rest towers and bars. Yimo guessed the commercial places were probably all gathered in the marketplace. Yimo stopped an abstruse immortal peak stage immortal and asked politely, Marshal brother, may I ask where the marketplace is? The immortal looked strangely at Zhenbingyu and immediately said, 3 kilometers down the main street, you'll be able to see it. Yimo thanked him and sped off even faster. Spirit sense control was even stricter than the lower deck here. After 3 kilometers, Yimo saw a huge marketplace. Yimo breathed easy seeing this. There were quite a lot of people here. Yimo took Zhenbingyu to the marketplace and realized that middle and top deck immortals didn't need to pay immortal crystals to go into the marketplace. That was only for the lower deck. You came from the lower deck, the manager scanned Yimo's jade card and asked with contempt. He had seen too many low-deck immortals come wanting to get wealthy in the middle deck and settle down here, but only a rare few succeeded, less than 1 in 1,000. That's right, I want to rent a stall. May I ask how many immortal crystals for a month? Yimo asked. The immortal said scornfully, Friend, I suggest you stay at the lower deck, you only just came up, right? Save your immortal crystals while you still have them and you might be able to last till the end. If you go into the marketplace now, you will most likely end up broke. Yimo still asked, May I ask how many immortal crystals a month? The immortal stared at Yimo for a long while before saying, Okay, I have no choice, I've alerted you already. The cheapest stall is 100,000 a day, 1 month is 3 million immortal crystals. A middle grade stall is 5 million a month. Better stalls are 8 million a month. What stall do you want? Yimo took in a cold breath. He didn't dare to rent a good stall here. Are you going to rent or not? The manager was getting impatient. Yimo took out 3 million immortal crystals and said without hesitation, I'll rent for a month. 1 month is 4 million, 1 million is a deposit. If you finish renting and the stall is fine, we'll return it to you, the immortal said expressionlessly. Yimo had no choice but to take out an extra 1 million and received a jade card. It was really easy for them to take the deposit. Yimo could only rejoice because renting a stall at least meant that he had a place to stay. Yimo could only rejoice because renting a stall at least meant that he had a place to stay. The jade card said 569. 5 minutes later, Yimo and Zhen Bingyu came to their stall. Although it was just a low-grade stall, it was only the location that wasn't good. At the corner, the immortal spirit Kai was quite nice. It was many times better than the low-grade deck. This stall had its own level 1 defense immortal formation. There were also 2 levels. There were 2 rooms next to each other on the second floor. This was perfect for Yimo and Zhen Bingyu. There was also a defense immortal formation at level 2, but Yimo didn't trust it. He added a defense and barrier formation to level 2 but didn't touch the original defense formation and restrictions. Although these couldn't block the spirit sense of immortal kings, they could at least let Yimo know when people scanned with spirit sense. Yimo had seen the middle deck marketplace. There were quite some people here. At least the immortals used immortal crystals in a completely different way than the immortals at the lower deck. When they saw something they needed, they wouldn't mind buying it. Yimo also noticed there were mostly Great Unity Immortals and Abstruse Immortals here. There were a rare few Great Extreme Immortals and not a single Great Eternity Immortal or Golden Immortal. Every second meant immortal crystals in this marketplace. As soon as they came here, they were ready to open. Zhen Bingyu was too heavily injured, so Yimo didn't ask her to help and let her rest at level 2. With just half a day of preparation, Yimo hung up the sign reading Mo Yu Pill Tower. It said pill concoction was available for level 3 and level 4 immortal pills, and that level 3 and level 4 pills were sold as well. Most of the people here were Great Unity Immortals and Abstruse Immortals, but even if there were a lot of Great Extreme Immortal, Yimo didn't dare to easily say he could concoct level 5 immortal pills. After half a day, not a single person came. Now, Yimo realized how important the stall's location was. Many people wouldn't even walk to this corner. There were many pill towers in the market and Mo Yu was very ordinary. These corner pill towers were pretty much all lower deck immortals coming to resell pills. They didn't entice the middle deck immortals at all. A day passed like this, not a single person even came to his stall. Now he realized why the manager looked at him with contempt. He knew that no one would come to visit his stall. Now, Zhen Bingyu's essence spirit had pretty much recovered and she could use some spirit sense. Yimo helped her make a simple flying chair magic artifact, allowing her to fly a short distance. She flew down to level 1. I have a way, Zhen Bingyu said immediately. What way? Yimo asked in confusion. We can be proactive, make some flyers that state clearly you can concoct level 4 immortal pills. Then send them out in the market and soon people will come, Zhen Bingyu said. Yimo shook his head speechlessly. That's because you haven't done business before. We came from the lower deck. Do you see anyone sending out flyers in the market? I think what we'll be getting from the flyers is trouble, not business. Zhen Bingyu immediately realized that if Yimo dared to go to other pill towers and steal their business, they wouldn't be able to stay here anymore. What do we do then? Zhen Bingyu was worried too. Wait, Yimo said heavily. He knew he could only wait. The two didn't wait for long. Someone came on the second day. He didn't come to buy immortal pills but to collect the stall tax. It wasn't much, but it meant Yimo had to pay another 3,000 immortal crystals. From the immortal collecting tax, Yimo knew that in order to live at the middle deck, one had to pay 5 million immortal crystals a year. It seemed he was far from being able to live at the middle deck. And Yimo could tell from his tone that it was just the theoretical price. Those immortals from the lower deck wouldn't be able to simply stay here with just immortal crystals. They would need connections. There was no business on the second day either. Zhen Bingyu said nothing, seeing Yimo remain silent, but she didn't go to cultivate. Yimo was thinking what the chances of survival were if he went into the void with Zhen Bingyu. Yimo couldn't just leave her behind. When should he enter the void? Should he last till the next void storm or use the opportunity to collect asteroids? These were the only 2 opportunities of reaching the void on this ship. He could also spend immortal crystals to go to the top deck and watch the view, but Yimo could guess that he would only be able to look there. If he could easily jump off, then the defense formation of the ship would be too garbage. If we really don't have a way, then I'll give my body to you, Zhen Bingyu sighed and said upon seeing Yimo contemplate for many hours. Yimo was roused by Zhen Bingyu's words and looked at her in confusion. You like me? No, There's only the Tao in my heart. I've never thought about anything else. Zhen Bingyu shook her head but continued, but I'm very grateful to you. You saved me and never gave up on me. I'm thinking that if I'm going to die anyways, then the Tao would be out of reach. Since you like lust, I don't mind giving it to you. Yi Mo said plainly, I couldn't be bothered explaining to you before, but now that you said it, I'll tell you. To me, it's not lust. That thing can only be done between people who like each other. You never liked me and I never liked you, so you don't need to bring this thing up again. What is the feeling of liking someone? Do you have someone you like? Is it Nianmei? Zhen Bingyu didn't get angry at all. Yi Mo stood up and said, I only discuss these things with people I like. I would rather discuss the Tao with you. As for Qin Nianmei, I won't explain the things between her and I, it's pointless. At this moment, a one-eyed immortal came to the door, a great unity immortal primary stage. You can concoct level 4 immortal pills here, the great unity immortal asked immediately. Yi Mo saluted with his fists. That's right, Chen Bei. What level 4 immortal pills do you need to concoct, or what pill do you want to buy? The immortal scanned Yi Mo's loosely filled racks and frowned but didn't leave. I have only one all heaven star, it can't go to waste. You want to concoct the refined star pill? Yi Mo asked heavily. The immortal nodded approvingly. That's right, but it has to succeed and must be a middle grade pill or above. If you fail, your life will be taken. Then he looked at Yi Mo's face. Yi Mo's face didn't change at all. Of course Yi Mo was calm. He could concoct level 6 immortal pills, a mere level 4 immortal pill was all too easy. But he didn't answer immediately. I guess you've been to other pill towers and no one dares to take it, right? In great immortal cultivation, one might be poisoned with heart demons. The immortals plagued with that would gradually lose their bodies and essence spirits and completely dissipate into thin air. But refined star pills could remedy this. It was only a level 4 immortal pill, but it was very hard to concoct. That's right, I bought this all heaven star with a hefty price from the top deck. I only have this one. If you can't concoct it, tell me and I'll find someone else. The immortal glared at Yi Mo. That's right, I bought this all heaven star with a hefty price from the top deck. I only have this one. If you can't concoct it, tell me and I'll find someone else. The immortal glared at Yi Mo. Yi Mo smiled. A mere refined star pill won't trouble me, but I want to ask, what price will you pay if I can concoct it for you? If you can give me a middle grade refined star pill, I'll give you 500,000 top grade immortal crystals, the immortal said without hesitation. Yi Mo was shook. The refined star pill was hard to concoct, but its price was far below a great unity pill. Usually, a great unity pill could sell for 300,000 to 500,000 top grade immortal crystals, and there was always a lack of supply. A refined star pill would only usually be worth 20,000 top grade immortal crystals. This immortal offered such an insane price. The immortal ship was indeed a good place for business. If you think the price isn't good enough, I can add more as long as you can concoct the refined star pill, the immortal added. Yi Mo waved his hand. No need, but I have one condition, I can concoct 6 pills. Give me 500,000 top grade immortal crystals and then I'll give you 3 pills and I'll keep 3 for myself. Ordinary immortal pill great masters could indeed concoct 6 pills, better immortal pill great masters could concoct 9 pills. Yi Mo could completely do 12 pills. On this ship he was poor. This immortal could go to top deck to buy things, so clearly he wasn't ordinary. Plus, he wouldn't need that many pills. The rest of the pills would be perfect for him to open up. That's fine. The immortal nodded without hesitation and said, as long as you can give me 3 pills, you can get the rest and I'll pay you 500,000 top grade immortal crystals. Okay. Yi Mo nodded and said, give me the herbs and I'll do it now. Hearing this, the immortal didn't hesitate at all and threw out a pile of herbs. Seeing Yi Mo take them, the immortal warned again, if you fail, I will take your life and that of your Tao partners. Yi Mo knew that people couldn't kill so easily in the middle deck, but they could form contracts. If one repudiated a contract, the other could kill him. Yimo had no pressure at all when concocting level 4 immortal pills and signed his name without hesitation. Seeing Yimo go up to concoct pills, the immortal didn't sit down nor go see Zhen Bingyu. He just stared at the stairway without blinking. Clearly, the pills were very important to him. Yimo only needed 5 minutes for level 4 immortal pills, but he purposely took 15 minutes making 3 special grade, 8 top grade, and 1 middle grade. He could make them all special grade, but Yimo felt it was unnecessary. He only needed to give 1 middle grade and 2 top grade pills to this immortal. This would only mean his skills were rather good amongst level 4 immortal pill great masters. If there was a special grade, then it would mean he was a level 5 immortal pill great master. 2 hours later, Yimo came down. The main was still at the stairway, and when he saw Yimo come down he immediately asked nervously, "How did it go?" "It's all right." Yimo handed over a jade bottle. The Great Unity Immortal desperately opened the bottle, and when he saw there were 2 top grade and 1 middle grade refined star pills, he was overjoyed. "Thank you, Master, thank you. There are even 2 top grade pills, great." Yimo could tell by this person's attitude that the person plagued with heart demon poison was very important to this immortal. Yimo smiled. "I'm just a businessman." The Great Unity Immortal was very excited and tore the contract before taking out 700,000 immortal crystals and gave them to Yimo. "Great Master, can you sell another refined star pill to me?" "1 refined star pill is enough for the worst heart demon poison?" Yimo asked in confusion and only took 500,000. "That's right, but because I have a lot of friends on board and because the ship is flying in the void between realms, there is a lack of universe law. Cultivating here is susceptible to heart demon poison. It's good to have backup," the immortal quickly said. Yimo thought and realized that this immortal seemed to know a lot of people here. Thinking about this, he took out 1 more refined star pill and gave it to him. "No need for immortal crystals, you're my first customer so you can keep this pill. WN Bei only wants Chen Bei to bring some business over." The Great Unity Immortal took the pill and raised his thumb. "Okay, I approve of you as a friend. You probably came from the lower deck, right? Just with your immortal pill great master skills you can survive stably in the middle deck and maybe even the top deck. Don't worry about business. I'll introduce my friends to you. And, we're friends now, so no need to call me Chen Bei and stuff. Peng will be needing you quite a lot in the future." Yimo rejoiced. He didn't expect to get a long-term customer for his first business transaction and quickly said, "I'm Yimo. I'll be troubling Brother Peng in the future." "No problem, but I just got the refined star pill so now I have to go. After I save the person I'll come find you," Peng Gandang said. Yimo sent Peng Gandang to the door and said, "Brother Peng, I just want to survive, I'm not asking to be famous." Peng Gandang immediately knew what Yimo meant by this and said, "Brother Yi, don't worry, the friends I will bring are good friends. They won't go around telling everyone you can concoct top-grade level 4 immortal pills." Yimo approved of Peng Gandang and saluted with his fists. In less than 3 days, Yimo earned 500,000 top-grade immortal crystals and 8 refined star pills. According to Peng Gandang, refined star pills were quite a hot item on this ship. Seeing Yimo finally start getting business, Zhen Bingyu breathed easy too. She didn't fear death, but if she could avoid it, why would she want to die? Zhen Bingyu went back upstairs to cultivate again, leaving Yimo downstairs to practice his formations and watch over business. But only Peng Gandang came. The next few days, no one came to ask for pill concoction. Yimo could only choose to study formations. His formation skills were very low, he only had level 2 immortal formation skills. This was far from enough for Yimo now. On the 6th day, Peng Gandang brought 2 immortals over. One was a female immortal who seemed very ethereal. Yimo kept notice of this female immortal and saw she was stronger than Peng Gandang. She was Great Extreme Immortal Tertiary Stage. The male immortal behind Peng Gandang was very ordinary. He was just a Great Unity Immortal, but Yimo felt this Han Changzhen wasn't as ordinary as he seemed. "Brother Yi, I brought 2 friends over for you to see. This is Holy Hand Immortal Nun Cai Yi and this is my friend Han Changzhen. The refined star pill was for him, he came over just to thank you," Peng Gandang said. Yimo quickly greeted them. He didn't know what cultivation method Cai Yi used, but it made him respect her. Brother Yi, Holy Hand immortal nuns usually don't come out casually, but because you saved Brother Changzhen she came. Seeing Yi Mo was very polite but didn't understand what he meant, Pen Gandang said, Holy Hand immortal nun cultivates the Tao of medicine, she's also a level 3 immortal pill master. I brought her to help you this time. Help me. Yi Mo was confused. Holy Hand immortal nun smiled and said, I heard Great Master Yi can concoct top-grade level 4 immortal pills, so I came to learn. I also heard your Tao partner has injuries, I wanted to see if I could help. Her tone was soft and had a serene sensation to it, making Yi Mo calm down. Yi Mo immediately had respect for her, she was a great extreme immortal and yet still said she came to learn. Clearly she had quite good manners. Thank you Holy Nun Qian Bei, WN Bei will bring Martial Sister down now. Yi Mo quickly went up and brought Zhen Bingyu down. He knew what he lacked, his cultivation method was good but his knowledge wasn't that great. Thank you Holy Nun Qian Bei, WN Bei will bring Martial Sister down now. Yi Mo quickly went up and brought Zhen Bingyu down. He knew what he lacked, his cultivation method was good but his knowledge wasn't that great. Zhen Bingyu was also excited that a medical Tao immortal was willing to check her up. She was also beginning to get desperate after not finding a way to cure her injuries for so long. Bingyu greets Holy Nun Qian Bei, Zhen Bingyu greeted. The Holy Nun smiled and went up to help Zhen Bingyu walk and led her to a soft seat. You failed Nirvana. As soon as she held Zhen Bingyu's hands she called out in shock. She couldn't not be shocked. Preserving the body after Nirvana failure was extremely rare. She knew that usually, only essence spirit would remain after Nirvana failure and the essence spirit would slowly dissipate. Yet this woman failed, but not only did her essence spirit not dissipate, her body was fine too. Just from what she said, Yi Mo and Zhen Bingyu knew how capable this holy nun was. Her hands only just touched Zhen Bingyu. Yes, Holy Nun Qian Bei, Zhen Bingyu quickly answered in excitement. Hearing this, Holy Nun fell into silence for a long while before saying, theoretically one can rebuild the body after Nirvana failure, but it's actually extremely hard. For your situation, you can use the 9-color lotus in the cultivation realm, but even after you use it, your power will be all gone and your spirit roots will become ordinary. Without a few 100,000 years, don't even think about reaching great immortal. Plus, your situation is your spirit roots dissolving, not even the 9-color lotus might be able to recover it. Another way is to find the chaos blue reed to rebuild the body or find the clear mind lotus to repair the spirit roots, the Holy Nun sighed before continuing, but both of these aren't things ordinary people can get. Not even immortal emperors will be able to get such immortal spirit herbs easily. Zhen Bingyu's heart sunk, she didn't expect her situation to be this bad. How could she find another chaos blue reed? But it's very amazing you can keep your body and essence spirit. Ordinary immortals wouldn't be able to keep their body and essence spirit, but not only did you preserve your body fine, your essence spirit is very stable too. Then she looked at Yi Mo on the side. Unless there is an extreme grade body refinement cultivation method and one used an extreme grade immortal spirit herb such as the chaos blue reed, one wouldn't be able to be in your condition. But how can one fail Nirvana with the chaos blue reed? I'm very shook. I can't even imagine why the essence spirit isn't dissolving. Yi Mo and Zhen Bingyu glanced at each other. Only now did they realize they thought of Nirvana too lightly. They thought the greatest danger of failure was losing one's body, but now it seemed that even the essence spirit would slowly start to cripple. Seeing Yi Mo and Zhen Bingyu not speak, the Holy Nun knew these two probably wouldn't say why she could keep her body and essence spirit. She didn't ask and said, this martial sister's body and essence spirit are fine, but her spirit roots are beginning to dissolve and it's getting worse. If you don't stop this, in time even the clear mind lotus won't be able to repair it. Please teach us Holy Nun Qian Bei. Yi Mo quickly bowed. Holy Nun nodded and said, my method will only work if you're a level 4 immortal pill great master. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do it. Even though it's still dangerous, it's better than no hope at all. We're flying in the void between realm domains. The ship will stop every half a year, and at this time many immortals would go collect asteroids, You can apply to go too. Hearing this, Yimo breathed easy. From her tone, the higher the pill master level, the easier things would be. He was a level 6 immortal pill great master now. There's an immortal spirit item in the void called Void Flying Snow. It's extremely rare and is a level 7 immortal spirit herb. It's extremely hard to find and catch. The holy nun was sighing to herself. She could tell this immortal pill great master really wanted to help treat his Tao partner, but how could the Void Flying Snow be so easily found? Holy nun, you're asking Brother Yi to collect Void Flying Snow? Peng Gandang couldn't resist asking. The holy nun nodded. It's very hard to collect it indeed, but if her spirit root is to be preserved, there's nothing else that can help her. Yimo quickly said, Holy nun Qian Bei, WN Bei is very grateful. Even if I can't find it, I will know the way to treat Martial Sister. Holy nun quite approved of Yimo. He was an immortal pill great master and had such a beautiful Martial Sister. However, he didn't take her virginity and never gave up on her. This was very rare. On this ship, there were too many instances of Tao partners abandoning each other. Even if Zhen Bingyu wasn't heavily injured, some selfish person would have already taken her virginity and then sold her off. She had seen too many of these things on the ship. If she knew that the two weren't even Tao partners, perhaps she would be even more shocked. The Void Flying Snow is shaped like a snowflower. It appears in the void and is as fast as a top-grade flying immortal artifact flying at full speed. Some higher quality ones fly even faster. The holy nun sighed and continued, it's because of this that it's so highly valued, more valuable than level 7 and even level 8 immortal spirit herbs. Yimo thought of the corner soul weed. It was like this when he was capturing it. The corner soul weed was extremely fast and couldn't simply be caught, but after trying for a long time and using his spirit sense cultivation method, he even caught it. He wondered if the way he caught corner soul weed would be useful against that Void Flying Snow. Please teach me the method to catch Void Flying Snow. WN Bei will be extremely grateful, Yimo said respectfully again. Holy nun signaled Yimo not to bow and said, the main use of Void Flying Snow is to purify spirit roots. If you consume pills made from it on a regular basis, it can even purify immortals' spirit roots. There are 2 types of pills I know that can be made from Void Flying Snow. One is called Void Spirit Pill, another is Flying Snow Pill. Both of these pills can stabilize spirit roots and purify them. Then, she passed a jade slip to Yimo. There's the concoction method of these 2 pills on it. You're a level 4 immortal pill great master, so you should be able to understand. Yimo quickly looked at the jade slip. There were indeed 2 pill recipes. One was for the Void Spirit Pill, a level 5 immortal pill. Flying Snow pills were level 6 immortal pills which had all the effects of the Void Spirit pills. The Void Spirit Pill was clearly for level 5 immortal pill great masters. Yimo was a level 6 immortal pill great master. Of course he was going to concoct the Flying Snow Pill. The jade slip also mentioned that the Flying Snow Pill could reduce heart demons. This was a huge enticement for cultivators. The pity is, even the Flying Snow Pill can only stop her spirit roots from worsening. It can't completely repair her spirit roots unless you find the Clear Mind Lotus. Plus, if you want to find Void Flying Snow, you have to go to the Realm Domain Void. In there, even immortal kings might die if they're unlucky. The pity is, even the Flying Snow Pill can only stop her spirit roots from worsening. It can't completely repair her spirit roots unless you find the Clear Mind Lotus. Plus, if you want to find Void Flying Snow, you have to go to the Realm Domain Void. In there, even immortal kings might die if they're unlucky. The holy nun looked at Yimo. She didn't know how determined Yimo was to save Zhen Bingyu, so she waited for his response. If Yimo wanted to go, she could only tell him that with his power, even if he saw the flying snow he wouldn't be able to get it. She shouldn't have told Yimo about the Void Flying Snow, but Yimo was a level 4 immortal pill great master, and seeing his pills, it didn't seem impossible for him to reach a level 5 immortal pill great master. If one day he missed the opportunity of getting Void Flying Snow, it would be unfair for him. Brother Yi, even great eternity immortals find it very difficulty to capture Void Flying Snow. The holy nun just wants you to know there is such a thing. With your power, It's impossible to find void flying snow, Peng Gandang said. I know, thank you Holy Nun Qian Bei and Brother Peng. Yi Mo got up and thanked them again. There was a sliver of despair in Zhen Bingyu's eyes. She didn't expect her spirit roots to be continuously dissolving. If it wasn't suppressed, her spirit roots would eventually turn to nothing. Even if nothing happened to her sect, her master wouldn't be able to help her. Thank you Holy Nun Qian Bei. WN Bei knows that not only are my spirit roots dissolving but even my meridians have shattered completely. It's useless even if I get the void flying snow. Zhen Bingyu thanked. She had made up her mind that she wouldn't allow Yi Mo to go risk his life in the heaven domain void again. She was bound to her. It was meaningless for Yi Mo to risk going to the heaven domain void. Plus, she felt she owed Yi Mo enough already. If she owed him more, she wouldn't be able to die peacefully. No, your meridians will automatically heal if your spirit root is recovered. For us immortals, this is no serious injury. Then the holy nun said to Yi Mo, today I came over also wanting to ask a few questions from Master Yi. When I was concocting level 4 immortal pills, there were many times when I was about to succeed but I couldn't control the immortal flavor of the pill and thus I couldn't pull the pill. Every time I feel it should be fine to pull the pill, but after I pull it the pill will automatically crack. Yi Mo knew her problem. He had encountered it as well but only once and he quickly corrected it with his 3-birth chant. Her current problem was due to the fact that she couldn't control her spirit sense and pill spell when she pulled pills. Since she was at this step, it meant that she was about to enter level 4 immortal pill Great Master. She just needed a little bit of guidance. Yi Mo took out a jade slip and then imprinted why she failed as well as some things to take note of in and then gave the jade slip to Holy Nun. Holy Nun Qian Bei, after you read this jade slip you should be able to concoct level 4 immortal pills. Seeing the Holy Nun take the jade slip, Peng Gandang asked in disbelief, Brother Yi, isn't that a bit of an overstatement? Looking at your jade slip will allow her to reach level 4 immortal pill Great Master? Even the Great Unity Immortal looked at Yi Mo in confusion. He could tell Yi Mo wasn't someone who liked to bluff, but what he said was illogical. If one was to reach level 4 immortal pill Great Master so easily, then there would be too many level 4 immortal pill Great Masters. The Holy Nun was quite skeptical, but with her mannerisms she didn't show any expression and just accepted the jade slip calmly before scanning her spirit sense in. Moments later, her face was excited, half joyful and half frowning. Seeing this, everyone immediately knew that the jade slip Yi Mo gave her was very useful. She had immersed her mind into it and no one went to disturb her. 5 minutes later, Holy Nun suddenly put down the jade slip and closed her eyes to think. Then, she immediately took out a pill cauldron and was about to concoct pills on the spot. Peng Gandang and Han Changzhen glanced at each other, seeing the confusion in each other's eyes. Was it really as Yi Mo said, his jade slip could allow Holy Nun to reach level 4 immortal pill Great Master immediately? She was beginning to refine herbs as she threw the immortal spirit herbs into the cauldron one by one. Half an hour later, Holy Nun suddenly started using pill-pulling spells. Yi Mo nodded. The Holy Nun had completely grasped the places that the pill-pulling spell needed to change if the pills couldn't be pulled. After the pill-pulling spell, she swept up 6 pills and put them into a jade bottle. Yi Mo's spirit sense already scanned the 6 low-grade Qian Fan pills and he immediately congratulated. Congratulations on reaching level 4 immortal pill Great Master, Holy Nun Qian Bei. She really succeeded. Peng Gandang and Han Changzhen looked at the jade bottle dazedly in disbelief. Was it really this easy to become a level 4 immortal pill Great Master under Yi Mo's tutelage? Holy Nun was calm-mannered but she couldn't resist the joy in her heart right now. She didn't expect the problem that has troubled her for many years was easily pointed out by Yi Mo and given such a precise resolution. She heard Yi Mo's words and bowed to Yi Mo. Master Yi, your pill concoction skills are far superior to mine, please take me in as your disciple. Seeing this, Peng Gandang and Han Changzhen were struck again. Yi Mo quickly got up and said, Holy Nun. My name is Cai Yi, please call me by my name Master. If you call me Qian Bei I won't be able to take it. Holy Nun truly respected Yi Mo now. She was certain that Yi Mo wasn't a level 4 immortal pill Great Master. She didn't know what level Yi Mo's pill concoction skills were, but she was certain that not even an immortal pill grandmaster would be able to know her problem after just listening to a few words from her and let her reach level 4 immortal pill great master on the spot. Yi Mo let Cai Yi sit down and said, "In that case I'll call you Martial Sister Cai Yi. I won't take in disciples. I'm still learning myself. No need to mention about being my disciple, but of course you can come and discuss the pill Tao with me frequently." Yi Mo was pretty much teaching her in another sense, and Cai Yi could tell this, of course. She felt pity, but she got up and thanked him. Seeing that Peng Gandang was about to say something, Yi Mo quickly stopped him and said, "Brother Peng, thanks for bringing Martial Sister Cai Yi today to help. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I came to invite you to the Top Deck Pill Master Social. If you show your skills there will be plenty of opportunities for you to earn immortal crystals," Peng Gandang quickly said. "Brother Peng lives at the top deck." Yi Mo was truly shocked. Peng Gandang smiled with embarrassment. "Yes, I was too worried about Changzhen brothers' injuries, so I didn't have time to tell you. Don't worry, you will have so many immortal crystals you wouldn't even be able to use them. Even if you don't go to the social, you can still earn large sums of immortal crystals." Then Peng Gandang subconsciously looked at Han Changzhen. "Brother Yi, I came to thank you for saving my life. Don't worry about a residence, you can come with us to the top deck now. We can get your identity and room sorted." Han Changzhen saluted with his fists and had a sliver of desperation in his eyes. But Yi Mo felt this person wasn't as worthy of a friend as Cai Yi and Peng Gandang. Clearly, he made his decision to invite him to the top deck on the spot after seeing him let Cai Yi reach Immortal Pill Great Master so easily. He could tell that this Han Changzhen wasn't simple. Even Peng Gandang seemed to look at him for decisions. "Thank you Brother Han and Brother Peng. I feel the middle deck is great, so I won't go to the top deck. Plus I don't like to stay with too many people," Yi Mo said politely. Yi Mo was very happy with the middle deck. As for top deck, it would at most be more spacious. That was unnecessary for Yi Mo. He couldn't cultivate on this ship, and the nearer he was to the special deck, the higher the chances he would be exposed. As for going to the Immortal Pill Master Social, he didn't even think about it. Yi Mo was very happy with the middle deck. As for top deck, it would at most be more spacious. That was unnecessary for Yi Mo. He couldn't cultivate on this ship, and the nearer he was to the special deck, the higher the chances he would be exposed. As for going to the Immortal Pill Master Social, he didn't even think about it. Han Changzhen was a little disappointed, but he didn't say much. The few chatted together for a while before getting up and leaving. Han Changzhen mentioned taking Yi Mo to the top deck again, but Yi Mo rejected. After the few people walked away, Zhen Bingyu asked strangely, "Martial Brother Yi, why did you reject them? You helped them, so it's fine for you to go to the top deck." Yi Mo waved up some restrictions and said heavily, "I suspect they're not immortals from the low heaven domains, they come from a middle heaven domain. Although that Han Changzhen doesn't speak much, I feel those few people treat him as the leader." "A middle heaven domain? You're saying they went from middle to low and then back to a middle domain? Do they have too many immortal crystals?" Zhen Bingyu asked in confusion. "That's what I don't understand. They seem to have substantial origin and they're not cultivation orientated. We just need to know them, no need to connect deeply with them," Yi Mo answered. Zhen Bingyu nodded. "I understand, but I hope you won't go find the void flying snow." Yi Mo smiled. "Don't worry, I have confidence that I won't die. Can you tell me about your past in the cultivation realm?" "Of course." In this expensive stall, Yi Mo and Zhen Bingyu just chatted for a whole day. Just when they thought another day would pass like this without any business, the immortal who collected tax came to Yi Mo's pill tower again. Yi Mo knew he was called Yu Liansong. He was a great Unity Immortal primary stage but was very mature and easy to talk to. But this time, he brought another great Unity Immortal along with him. "Great Master Yi, I heard you're going to settle at the middle deck. I'm here to help you do the procedures," the other great Unity Immortal said. Seeing Yi Mo's confusion, Yu Liansong quickly explained, "Great Master Yi, this is the Immortal Manager responsible for the residential area of the middle deck, Huang Yajing. If you want to settle in the middle deck, you just need to go to him. Yimo said in confusion, but I don't have immortal crystals. You said last time that even the most ordinary place in the middle deck will cost 5 million immortal crystals a year. Huang Yajing smiled. Great Master Yi, don't worry. You just need to give me your original card and I'll help you switch it. Yimo immediately realized that one of the three helped him. Why did they come to him for pill concoction then? Theoretically, with their power they would be able to find a better immortal pill Great Master on the top deck. Yimo still rejected. Thank you Manager Huang, but I plan to trouble you after I get enough immortal crystals myself. Hearing this, Huang Yajing immediately knew Yimo didn't want to owe anyone. He was contemptuous but didn't say anything. Peng Gandang seems like a good person, Zhen Bingyu said after the two left. She felt Yimo could take the offer. Yimo waved his hand. Did you notice Peng Gandang's words before? When he came he said if I get famous at the Immortal Pill Master Social I can earn large sums of immortal crystals, but after seeing I let Holy Nun reach a level 4 Immortal Pill Great Master, that Han Changzhen exchanged glances with him and he immediately said that even if I don't go to the social I can still earn large sums of money. You're saying? Zhen Bingyu asked. Yimo shook his head. I don't know about them but I'm certain there's some secret. If I accept their goodwill then they will treat me as one of their own and tell me the secret. Zhen Bingyu was very smart and immediately realized. If we know their secret we have to be with them, or else. Yes, or else we have to die. With their power on this ship, it's all too easy to kill the two of us. Plus I'm certain there are more powerful immortals behind them, Yimo said. That Holy Nun seems very nice, Zhen Bingyu said. Yimo didn't answer. He felt Cai Yi was a good person, but he didn't know them well. Yimo rejected their goodwill, and indeed in the next few days they didn't come again. However, Yimo's business grew well. Some immortals knew that top-deck immortals and even Manager Huang went to Yimo's shop, so they came too. With this, Mo Yu Pill Tower's fame grew. All their level 4 immortal pills were top grade, below level 4 were special grade. Such quality was top-notch even in the market here. In a short 2 weeks, Yimo earned nearly 6 million immortal crystals. A month's rent was about to come. Yimo spent another 3 million to stay an extra half a year at the middle deck and extended his stall's lease by 2 months. He spent all of his immortal crystals again but Yimo wasn't worried. The name of his shop grew and immortal crystals flowed in non-stop. At this moment, Yimo knew that at the middle deck, one could stay in the market but you must rent for 10 years. The 10 years rent was a steep price, but Yimo didn't feel it was expensive. He needed to rent a stall in the market, he didn't need to go find another place to settle. 2 months had passed, only Peng Gandang came to him one more time. Even he just chatted with him a few times without focus and left quickly. Yimo still hadn't gotten the right to settle at the middle deck, but he got his foothold now. In the middle deck market, Mo Yu's Pill Tower had become the best place to get level 4 and below immortal pills. The pills were very high quality but were limited to level 4 immortal pills. Today, Yimo just sent off a customer and was studying formations when Yu Liansang quickly ran over. Although he was just a small immortal for collecting tax, Yimo still helped him quite a bit. He pretty much didn't charge him anything for pill concoction. In time, the two became familiar. They weren't friends but Yimo could get lots of news from him. Why did Brother Yu run over so desperately? Yimo put away the formation materials and saluted with his fists. Great Master Yi, the ship stopped today. Many people are going to collect asteroids to earn immortal crystals. Are you going? Yu Liansang quickly said. For some small managers like them who had no real power, it was very lucky that they could connect with a level 4 immortal pill Great Master. Yimo thought that it would Peng Gandang would be coming to tell him, but he didn't come. Now that the ship stopped, of course he would go, but not for the asteroids, he was going for the void-flying snow. Thank you Brother Yu, I plan to get some asteroids. How do I get there? Yimo saluted with his fists. Yu Liansang didn't expect an immortal pill Great Master would go get asteroids. He called Yimo just to go view the void scenery and connect with him better. No problem, I can take you over. When the immortal ship stops, All the areas will open the deck to the void. You just need to go into the void from the deck, but the void is very dangerous and the ship only stays here for half a year. If you don't come back on time, the ship won't wait, Yu Liansong said. Yimo quickly said, I know, thank you brother Yu, I'll tell my martial sister and we can go now. But Shen Bingyu already came down. She sighed, she knew she couldn't change Yimo's mind of going to search the void flying snow, but she didn't want Yimo to go in like that. I'll go with you, Shen Bingyu said. Shen Bingyu was planning to argue if Yimo wasn't going to let her. However, Yimo agreed without even thinking and replied, okay. Shen Bingyu was planning to argue if Yimo wasn't going to let her. However, Yimo agreed without even thinking and replied, okay. Seeing Yimo carry Shen Bingyu on his back and about to go enter the realm domain void, Yu Liansong was more confused. Shen Bingyu was clearly heavily injured and couldn't even walk by herself. Why did Yimo take her to the void? Brother Yu, please lead the way, there should be more asteroids the earlier we go, Yimo said. He was planning to leave a message for Peng Gandang. He felt the guy was mysterious but was a nice person. If something happened to him in the void and he couldn't get back, he would let Peng Gandang take Shen Bingyu to Tang Yao Heaven. But their relationship was only ordinary, he couldn't care about it. The reason he planned to ask was because he was the only one who could help Shen Bingyu if he couldn't make it back. Since Shen Bingyu wanted to go with him now, then would go together. He understood what Shen Bingyu meant. The realm domain void was so dangerous that even an immortal king might die if he was unlucky, much less an abstruse immortal. If he didn't come back, Shen Bingyu would be dead for sure. Yu Liansong heard this and knew Yimo had made up his mind. He quickly took out a round disc and gave it to Yimo. Great Master Yi, there's no direction in the void, this void disc can clearly locate the ship, you can have it. Yimo quickly thanked Yu Liansong and took the disc. When Yimo carried Shen Bingyu and followed Yu Liansong to the balcony of the middle deck, the place was full of immortals. They ranged from Golden Immortal Peak Stage to Great Eternity Immortal, but there were only a few Golden Immortal Peak Stage and not many Great Eternity Immortals. There were mainly Abstruse Immortal and Great Unity Immortal. They were all waiting for the restriction to open. Those immortals selling location discs had great business, but Yimo already had one. Gazing into the distance, there was just emptiness. It seemed like an endless black hole with a few occasional asteroids darting past, further accentuating the emptiness of this place. Yimo had been in the void fissure at a lower realm and felt it was normal, but Shen Bingyu was shook. If it wasn't that she couldn't stop Yimo from going in, she definitely wouldn't want Yimo to go in for the void flying snow. Even she was scared seeing this place. She had been to the heaven domain void, but compared to the void here, it was nothing. When she scanned her spirit sense out here, it felt like she was searching a vast ocean. Martial Brother Yi, can you change the soft seat on your back to a rope? This way I can lay on you and reduce the space between us, Shen Bingyu said. Yimo knew that Shen Bingyu meant if there was too much distance between the two it would increase the power of the void storms and one of them might be taken away. Okay. Yimo knew it was better to stay closer in the void. It was very dangerous to get separated, Shen Bingyu might even be torn apart. As soon as Yimo said this, he heard the manager yell, the restrictions are open, everyone go in slowly. Please come back to the ship within half a year. All the restrictions were open and it made people feel edgy. It was as though there was a bottomless cliff outside. The howls of the void wind seemed scary. Rumble *, 2 asteroids clashed in their spirit sense, creating a huge explosion. The void flow instantly took an abstruse immortal at the border into the void. Yu Liansong took a few steps back and said, so powerful. Brother Yi, I'll be standing at the back, be careful. I know. Thank you Brother Yu, Yimo said and then took out a low-grade immortal artifact rope and tied Shen Bingyu tightly to his back. The 2 balls of softness made him subconsciously shiver. No matter what, Shen Bingyu was extremely beautiful and her body was perfect. Although Shen Bingyu couldn't gather immortal essence, her spirit sense was still there and her senses were acute. Yimo's back muscles shivered and his body temperature rose a little and she immediately felt it. She couldn't help but sigh. If he had a Dao heart like hers, his future would be boundless. Why was lust so mesmerizing for immortals? Thinking about how she offered to give herself to Yi Mo, Zhen Bingyu sighed. She couldn't be completely heartless either. If she was completely heartless, she wouldn't even say that. Suddenly her heart shook. If she was completely heartless, would Yi Mo save her? She had been with Yi Mo for a while now and knew Yi Mo's character. He definitely wouldn't save a heartless person. The reason he helped her till now was because when he was in his most vulnerable moment, she didn't abandon him. If she really heartlessly abandoned Yi Mo and he happened to survive, what would happen? The result would be obvious. Zhen Bingyu was extremely beautiful, but Yi Mo really didn't think much of it. There were a few reasons Yi Mo saved her. They were on the same team and she didn't abandon him when he was vulnerable. Plus, she was in this state due to him. The more Zhen Bingyu thought, the more her heart was confused. Yi Mo's body heat passed to her chest, making her feel an indescribable sense of fulfillment and joy. She had never felt this way for a long time. Just when Zhen Bingyu was still thinking, the space nearby suddenly cleared up and an emptiness struck her. She subconsciously held Yi Mo tighter. She knew that the two had gone into the void and it was as though she could only find a sense of existence if she stuck closer to Yi Mo. Yi Mo released Blue Moon and proceeded slowly. At the beginning there were many immortals, but the void was too big and Yi Mo only flew for 5 minutes before he couldn't see any more immortals. Some asteroids flew past them but Yi Mo dodged them in time. As Blue Moon went further and further from the ship, there were more and more asteroids and even asteroid clusters. There would be the occasional space storm, but Yi Mo avoided them. A month later, Yi Mo stopped. Even if he was to capture the void flying snow, he couldn't go too far. You're not going to collect some asteroids to sell? Zhen Bingyu looked and reminded Yi Mo. Just when Yi Mo wanted to speak, he saw dense clusters of asteroids howling past and instantly locked the space ahead of them. There was no time to retreat as Blue Moon wasn't as fast as them. Before Zhen Bingyu asked what to do, Yi Mo released his octagonal cauldron and smashed out with the world rock while putting away Blue Moon. Zhen Bingyu was confused. They weren't fighting, so why did Yi Mo use that waiting stone? Rumble the black rock smashed a path out in the asteroid clusters. All the asteroids that touched the world rock was smashed apart. Even Zhen Bingyu was shaking upon seeing this. Even great unity immortals would at most have such power. She believed that if Yi Mo fought with that fatty at the corner soul domain, that great unity immortal would have been no match for Yi Mo's waiting stone. She believed that if Yi Mo fought with that fatty at the corner soul domain, that great unity immortal would have been no match for Yi Mo's waiting stone. After paving a path, Yi Mo charged through it. The rubble smashed on the octagonal cauldron, making dense smashing sounds, and although an occasional few struck Yi Mo, he didn't feel much. Just when Yi Mo was about to pass through this asteroid cluster, he saw a white flashing light fly past rapidly in the asteroid clusters. It was many times faster than the asteroids and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Void flying snow? Yi Mo saw the white flash and immediately felt it was void flying snow. Not only was it shaped very similar, but its kai was also very similar. Seeing this void flying snow, Yi Mo wasn't very happy, his heart sunk instead. The void flying snow was this rapid, countless times faster than the corner soul weed. How could he catch it? There were so many corner soul weed in the sea corner, so he didn't have to worry about finding them, but now the flying snow was extremely rare and this fast. So what if he saw it? How could he catch it? You saw the void flying snow? Zhen Bingyu asked on Yi Mo's back. Yi Mo said heavily, yes, I saw it, but unfortunately with my current ability I probably won't be able to catch such a thing. But don't worry, I'll think of a way. Yi Mo didn't lie. He believed he could find a way, it was just a matter of time. Zhen Bingyu's heart shook a little and she said after a while, never mind then. Then she said after thinking for a while, if one day you can meet my master, tell her. Before Zhen Bingyu finished, she said, never mind. Yi Mo could understand her feelings, it was best not to talk to her at this moment nor explain anything to her. Silence fell amongst the two. The asteroid cluster was gone and Yi Mo put away the octagonal cauldron. He sped up Blue Moon wanting to find another asteroid cluster. Marshal Brother Yi. A day later, Zhen Bingyu broke the silence. MHM? I think I understand why Nianmei likes you. You don't understand. Yimo said plainly. Nianmei didn't like him, but he didn't need to explain to her. He felt Zhen Bingyu had become more talkative recently. Ever since she was checked by the holy nun, Zhen Bingyu felt she couldn't calm down and cultivate like before. If she couldn't cultivate, she thought about a lot of things. Many of the times she wanted to chat with Yimo, but he was always either cultivating, concocting pills or studying formation. Every time Yimo left the pill tower, she felt worried, as though she was losing something. Every time Yimo came back, she felt calm again. Sometimes, she felt that her Dao heart was being lost bit by bit ever since she stopped her cultivation method. She was very worried, but even if she cultivated, she could only cultivate the body refinement cultivation method Yimo taught her. She had never had such a feeling. In her worry, she realized why. It was because she couldn't cultivate. Sometimes, she thought, were those mortal cultivators also like this? Another half a month had passed. Yimo had seen many asteroid clusters but not a single void flying snow again. Today, Yimo stopped Blue Moon again. He sat before Blue Moon contemplating while extending his spirit sense out. He knew that the void flying snow was different than the corner soul weed. He had many corner soul weeds to trial and experiment with in the sea corner, but here he didn't have such an opportunity. That void flying snow might be the only one he would see in here. Zhen Bingyu felt Yimo extend his spirit sense out. She knew what Yimo thought and felt very grateful. At this moment she sighed a little and didn't disturb Yimo anymore as she proceeded with thinking the things she never would have thought about before. Yimo used spirit sense cultivation method to capture the corner soul weed at the sea corner. Here he could only use it as well to capture the void flying snow. As Yimo extended his spirit sense out and tested on the small asteroids flying by, using spirit sense sever, spirit sense barricade, and even spirit sense domain, but it was of no use on those asteroids. Yimo knew the asteroids were different than the void flying snow, so it might still be useful for the void flying snow. His purple eye soul sever was at level 5 now. He could form a commandable spirit sense blade in his spirit sense domain. The void flying snow was too fast. Even if his spirit sense scanned it, there wasn't enough time to stop it with spirit sense. With his current spirit sense power, the only way was to set up a spirit sense domain before the void flying snow came, and once the void flying snow flew over he would stop it immediately with the spirit sense domain. Yimo didn't know if spirit sense domains were useful against void flying snow, but the main thing was they were very taxing on their spirit sense. If used for long periods of time, he wouldn't know what would happen. Yimo tried to expand his spirit sense domain, but the depletion of his spirit sense made him feel he couldn't take it. He ate a dual spirit pill and remembered Jiyu Zhouhe, who he met at the sea corner. He used a net-shaped magic artifact to capture corner soul weed. Instead of using a spirit sense domain, he might as well use a spirit sense net. That was much less taxing on spirit sense and it was more targeted. It could close quickly as soon as he noticed the void flying snow flying over. Days passed and Zhen Bingyu could clearly feel Yimo's spirit sense getting weary. She was worried that if Yimo used spirit sense this much, his sea of consciousness would suddenly cripple one day. However, Yimo found in surprise and joy that if he used spirit sense like this in the void and then used dual spirit pills, his spirit sense would improve many times than when he cultivated it. The void was suitable for spirit sense cultivation. In just a few days, Yimo felt his spirit sense go beyond that of a great unity immortal primary stage. As his spirit sense grew stronger, Yimo started to expand his spirit sense range. Then, another white flash like the one he saw before appear in his spirit sense. When Yimo scanned this white ray, it was 100 kilometers away, and when Yimo reacted, the white light had charged into his spirit sense net. It shivered a little and instantly broke his spirit sense net. Yimo excitedly put away Blue Moon. When the white ray broke Yimo's spirit sense net, it slowed a little and that was enough for Yimo to reach out with a second spirit sense net. The white light finally slowed for the second time. This time, Yimo saw it clearly. It was a snowflower-shaped void flying snow. The second slow only lasted half a second and it broke Yimo's spirit sense net again. But Yimo breathed easy. He knew this void flying snow wasn't going to get away. Yimo wanted to charge over, but suddenly a few asteroids came flying at Yimo. Yimo felt very strange. They happened to come here too coincidentally. But he couldn't move aside, he didn't even have the time to release his magic artifact. He would lose this void flying snow if it recovered its original speed. Asterisk thud thud asterisk. Asterisk thud thud asterisk. Two heavy strikes landed on Yimo's chest and Yimo spat a mouthful of blood. Even his immortal nirvana body couldn't take a blow from the asteroids. If he hadn't reached immortal nirvana body, he would have been smashed to pieces already. But Yimo didn't pay the price for nothing. His hand grabbed the fleeing void flying snow. A sense of coolness rose up to Yimo's head, making his heart feel serene. This is the void flying snow. Yimo looked at the void flying snow with a sliver of blood. He was a bit excited. It was said that even great eternity immortals found it hard to catch these things, but he actually caught one. He paid a price, but to Yimo it was worth it. The void flying snow was shaped like a snowflower. It had a cool sensation making people feel peace and comfortable. Zhen Bingyu looked at the blood-covered void flying snow but didn't feel happy, she felt worried. She began to fear that she would owe Yimo too much. She even feared that one day she didn't persuade Yimo to cultivate her Dao heart but instead she would accept Yimo's emotional Dao. The more she was dependent on Yimo, the more she didn't want this martial brother to go take risks or see him heavily injured. Was this the premonition of her liking him? She had never liked anyone before and didn't know if this was it. Yimo immediately felt Zhen Bingyu shiver on his back. Just when he didn't want to say to not worry about the void flying snow, he heard a shocked voice. Void flying snow? A figure landed extremely quickly before Yimo, then this figure said with even more excitement, "It really is void flying snow." Yimo saw who this person was. It was that great Unity immortal manager of the lower deck. Seeing the fire in his eyes, Yimo knew this guy wanted his void flying snow. Yimo put the void flying snow in a jade box, put it in his storage ring, and ate a dual spirit pill before looking at this great Unity immortal primary stage manager. He seemed to be heavily injured. What Yimo didn't understand was why this great Unity immortal manager came to the realm domain void. Did he not have enough immortal crystals? It's you. I guessed you weren't ordinary and now it seems so indeed. You can even catch void flying snow, the great Unity immortal said in shock and confusion. An abstruse immortal primary stage carrying a heavily injured woman could catch void flying snow. There definitely was a huge secret on him. He thought that Yimo would be coming down from the middle deck soon, but he never came back down again. He asked the other people who got in with Yimo but no one knew who Yimo was. He was certain they didn't lie to him because he had pretty much taken all of their immortal crystals. He wants you to give the void flying snow, we'll give it to him and go back, Zhen Bingyu whispered in Yimo's ear. Zhen Bingyu knew how hard it was for Yimo to get this void flying snow. He waited a few days using spirit sense and finally got it after being injured. But faced against a great Unity immortal, Yimo probably was no match for him. This place didn't limit immortal essence. There were very small limits on spirit sense, but it didn't affect great Unity immortal masters. Yimo said calmly, "You're wrong, he won't ask me to hand over the void flying snow. He suspects there are secrets on me so he wants our lives." The great Unity immortal heard this and smiled. "That's right, you're smart. No wonder you can stay at the middle deck. But I've tortured your friends at the lower deck enough. In about 1 or 2 months they will be going to the refinery." Then the great Unity immortal released his power. A powerful killing intent loomed over Yimo. A huge hand reached out from the void and slowly patted against Yimo. "I know you're strong. You can kill abstruse immortal tertiary stage. If you were at my power level perhaps even I wouldn't be a match for you. But today, you can stay here." Then his hand grew even bigger and Yimo couldn't feel the flow of time under this palm. What cultivation method was this? Yimo was shook and hacked out with Zishu, illusion cloud Hua mountain strike. The purple sword beam was a vibrant ray of purple in the void and hacked towards the great Unity immortal palm. Asterisk rumble asterisk mountains and rivers birthed from this great Unity immortal's palm. The palm turned into a lively world. At this moment, Yimo even felt the calling of this world as though wanting him to go into this world and stay quiet. "Martial brother, let's go in, it's so beautiful there, I want to go in and rest," Zhen Bingyu murmured. Yimo shivered and instantly woke up by using the 3-birth chant. This was an illusion, he definitely couldn't go in. His spirit sense blades severed the intense desire to go in and hacked onto the mountains and rivers without stopping. However, Zishu was blocked by all the things in the world. Zishu hummed and Yimo received a backlash from this strike. He spat a mouthful of blood and flew out. But at this moment, Yimo saw that the palm was the illusion while the painting of the world was real. It easily blocked Yimo's strike and shocked him instead. The great Unity Immortal was greatly astonished seeing that Yimo wasn't mesmerized by his small world painting and instead hacked out with his magic artifact. An ordinary abstruse immortal wouldn't be able to resist at all under it and would be sucked in. Then he would slowly deal with him. Such a powerful magic artifact, Yimo ate another dual spirit pill and condensed his spirit sense and immortal essence. This painting was very extraordinary. He knew his world rock only had one chance to succeed. If this opponent knew the power of his world rock, he would be wary. Moments later, Yimo decided to ignore the painting and focus on this great Unity Immortal. Go in. The great Unity Immortal roared as he inserted his immortal essence and spirit sense into the painting like crazy. The painting rose drastically, turning from a small village to a town with lots of people in it. Fancy restaurants, brothels, immortal feasts. There was a small bridge over a stream, an ancient road, and the setting sun. A scene of extreme beauty showed before his eyes. It was as though if he walked in, he would be able to experience that beauty. Yimo sneered. He didn't fall for it the first time, so how could he fall for it now? Seeing the confusion in Yimo's eyes and how Yimo even put away his magic artifact, the great Unity Immortal sneered. A mere abstruse immortal primary stage could last so long, that's quite hard for you. I want to see how many secrets you have. Hurry up and go in, the great Unity Immortal roared and the painting opened up completely. Yimo walked towards the painting but his footsteps weren't fast. They were even a little slow. The great Unity Immortal frowned, he rarely saw people who wanted so slowly while being enchanted by his painting. Just when he wanted to use more power to make Yimo go in faster, a black asteroid suddenly appeared. It seemed to be getting bigger and bigger, but also seemed as though it was only getting bigger because it was getting closer. The great Unity Immortal frowned and wanted to slice apart that rock, but he found it turned a corner as though forced away by his power. The great Unity Immortal nodded, it seemed his power rose again. But before he could focus his attention on the painting, that asteroid smashed back like lightning and was instantly before him. Not good, even an idiot would realize that there was something wrong with this huge black asteroid now, much less this great Unity Immortal. Not good, even an idiot would realize that there was something wrong with this huge black asteroid now, much less this great Unity Immortal. Even though he was ambushed, the great Unity Immortal wasn't too worried. The magic artifact of a mere abstruse immortal primary stage couldn't do much to him. Asterisk rumble asterisk as soon as he released his shield, the black asteroid smashed against it. Asterisk crack asterisk a terrifying power came, but this definitely wasn't the power of an abstruse immortal primary stage, it seemed to be the power of nature. The force didn't slow or weaken due to hitting the shield, instead exploding with even more terrifying power. The partially activated shield was instantly smashed to pieces. Before the great Unity Immortal could see clearly what the black rock was, it smashed into his chest. Asterisk crack asterisk the great Unity Immortal clearly heard the cracking of the bones in his body. Multiple purple blood arrows shot out and were devoured by the endless void. The great Unity Immortal realized he completely underestimated Yimo's battle power. He didn't kill an abstruse immortal tertiary stage by luck, he was completely an absurd abstruse immortal that was no weaker than him. What terrified him was Yimo's weighing stone magic artifact. He had never seen such a magic artifact. He had seen many small mountain magic artifacts, but none absurd as this black rock. Its weight was like a boundless mountain, but that power didn't seep out at all and was all focused on him. If he didn't think of a way to run, this would be where he would die today. The great Unity Immortal's spirit sense swept out and completely surrounded him. He was going to run away by burning his sea of consciousness. He didn't even care about his painting treasure. Can you get away? Yimo sneered. Shadowless darted out from the side. He smashed out with the world rock again while expanding his spirit sense net to trap this great unity immortal. You dare to kill me? I'm the immortal ship manager. If you kill me, your essence spirit will be burned. Seeing this spirit sense net and Shadowless come at the same time, he knew Yimo had too many lethal blows. The fighting power he showed on the stage was only the tip of the iceberg. He suspected that Yimo was hiding his true strength, and this was indeed the case. When the rock smashed down again, he knew there was no point in resisting. Even if there wasn't this world rock, he might not be able to beat this absurd, abstruse, immortal primary stage. I don't dare to kill you. Yimo's words made him rest easy a bit, and just when he was about to make promises, the world rock kept coming and smashed on his head. No way. Endless darkness befell him. His body was squeezed into a meat pie and his essence spirit fell into Shadowless' mouth. There was no use in regret, but he could only regret now. He regretted not setting up a plan to kill Yimo. Yimo breathed easy and instantly took the storage ring of this great unity immortal and that floating painting. Zhen Bingyu only came back to her senses after Yimo took the painting away. She immediately realized what had just happened and blushed, feeling a little awkward. With her Dao heart she wouldn't lose her mind so quickly, but she had lost her immortal essence and was thinking about things before. If her mind wasn't drifting, she wouldn't lose her mind that quickly. Let's quickly go. Yimo packed up things and changed directions. Didn't you just kill that manager? Zhen Bingyu asked while admiring Yimo extremely. Yimo was an abstruse immortal primary stage, but he could kill a great unity immortal. This was just purely insane. At least she had never heard of anyone who was able to kill great unity immortals at abstruse immortal primary stage. That manager came over heavily injured. His injuries weren't from fighting, they were probably due to a void storm or something more powerful. That manager attacked us immediately, wanting to kill us quickly. Clearly there are other people. Yimo spoke while Blue Moon sped up. Zhen Bingyu immediately understood and said, "You're saying his friend might come over?" "Not might. Definitely will. The manager has some status and would definitely be able to contact his friend, but I'm too weak. Otherwise, if I kill them both I can get rich," Yimo said helplessly. Just when Zhen Bingyu wanted to ask if there would be a problem with the storage ring, she saw an overwhelming whirlpool of asteroids arrive. That terrifying storm was enough to devour the entire void. Space collapsed before it even arrived. She was dazed. What person could stop such a terrifying whirlpool? Even immortal kings would be dead if they charged in. It's an asteroid storm whirlpool. Zhen Bingyu heard these 4 words and immediately felt Yimo pat her back. Then, she fell unconscious. When the whirlpool was before Yimo, he just put away Blue Moon. The terrifying suction power of the whirlpool was so powerful that not even immortal kings might be able to get away, much less these two. He put away Blue Moon and went into the Golden Page world. The 5 elements of the Golden Page world weren't complete, so he wouldn't be able to bring Zhen Bingyu in for more than 5 seconds. Yimo could only hope that after these 5 seconds the storm would have passed. He knew that they came fast and left even faster. If the storm wasn't gone after 5 seconds, he would go in the Golden Page world again. Indeed, he only lasted a few seconds with Zhen Bingyu inside before he was pushed out again. Thud Yimo just flew out and was struck by the remnant whirlpool that just passed. Yimo breathed easy and cursed himself for being naive. Facing such a terrifying asteroid whirlpool, he wouldn't have the chance of going in the Golden Page world after coming out. Luckily the 5 seconds saved him this time. Yimo spun like a twirl in the void. Just when Yimo was getting dizzy, the power finally slowed down. Yimo forcefully controlled himself and ate a pill before patting Zhen Bingyu awake. "We're dead," Zhen Bingyu said immediately and realized she asked the wrong question. They were still in the void. "How did you escape?" Zhen Bingyu asked shakily. Yimo said, "By luck. We'll stay here and catch the void flying snow. I checked, the void location disk can still find the immortal ship. If it wasn't for you Liansang, we would be lost by now." Zhen Bingyu nodded and said nothing. Yimo treated her well, but that was because it was who he was. In the depths of his heart, he was still wary of her. But she didn't feel uncomfortable, she felt what Yimo did was right. There was no relationship between them. MHM. Zhen Bingyu agreed. Yimo released Blue Moon and immediately took out that Great Unity Immortal storage ring. The Great Unity Immortal had been collecting so many immortal crystals at the lower deck, even if he had to hand some over, he would definitely have a lot on him. Even though Yimo knew the Great Unity Immortal Manager's storage ring would have a lot of immortal crystals, he was still shocked once he saw the amount. Even though Yimo knew the Great Unity Immortal Manager's storage ring would have a lot of immortal crystals, he was still shocked once he saw the amount. The immortal crystals were stacked up like mountains inside. There were also large amounts of immortal spirit herbs and forgery materials. He finally became wealthy now, Yimo breathed easy. There were at least 50 million immortal crystals in here, and there were also immortal crystals cards. They were like bank cards but for storing immortal crystals. But these immortal crystal storages were all at the top deck. Yimo didn't dare to go there. He didn't know if these cards had identity attached to them, but even if they didn't, he didn't dare to go take the crystals. If he suddenly took so many immortal crystals, even an idiot would suspect him. After putting a part of the immortal crystals in his storage ring, Yimo tipped the rest of the things in the golden page world. I'm scared there will be marks on the storage ring, it's best to throw it away, Zhen Bingyu reminded. It's fine. Yimo waved his hand. If someone could scan into his golden page world with spirit sense, he would have been long dead. Seeing Yimo so confident, Zhen Bingyu didn't fuss over the matter. She saw Yimo take out that painting again and frowned. What painting is this? It's so powerful. Yimo looked at it and shook his head. It's not a simple thing, but it's not the original. It's probably a copy. I don't have time to look at it now. Then, Yimo threw the painting into the golden page world. In the next 2 months, Yimo and Zhen Bingyu stayed here capturing void-flying snow. Yimo had encountered void-flying snow 3 times, but he only caught 1. Even though he was more proficient with his spirit sense net, he couldn't capture them all. The void-flying snow didn't all fly at the same speed, some were slower but some were simply too fast. When half a year's time was about to be up, Yimo brought Zhen Bingyu back to the ship quietly. He earned quite a bit during this half year. Not only did he get 2 void-flying snow but he also got large sums of immortal crystals. Yimo lacked a few immortal spirit herbs for concocting flying snow pills, but the Great Unity Immortal Manager's storage ring solved this problem for him. When Yimo and Zhen Bingyu went back to their pill tower, they didn't open up immediately. Yimo kept concocting pills, he had a lot of immortal crystals and wasn't in a rush to do business. Ye didn't lie indeed, in less than 2 weeks Zhen Bingyu felt different. She knew that after eating the flying snow pill, her spirit roots stopped dissolving. As long as she found the clear mind lotus, she would be able to recover. A month later, the immortal ship shut the restriction for flying out and set off again. Yimo's pill tower opened business as well. The first to come was Yu Liansong. Yu Liansong immediately saluted with his fists. Great Master Yi, congratulations on making it back safely. Nearly 1,000 people didn't come back this time. Yimo was shook. So many immortals died with one stop. This was too shocking. But Yimo tried the danger in the void. If he didn't have the golden page world, he wouldn't be able to come back this time. As soon as I went out I knew that I couldn't stay in there for long with my power, so I came back quickly, Yimo quickly said. Yu Liansong nodded. It's good to be back, you don't even need to go to the domain realm void with your capabilities. Yu Liansong chatted with Yimo for a while and then spoke about some of the things that happened during this stop and then asked Yimo to help concoct a cauldron of pills before leaving. After he left, Zhen Bingyu asked in shock, so many died with one stop. If the ship stops a few more times, then how many more will die? This isn't a good place, Yimo said heavily. Yimo felt this ship didn't take the lives of the immortals on board seriously at all. The only creed of this ship was collecting immortal crystals. Luckily the ship has some principle and doesn't rob immortal crystals from immortals. If we have enough immortal crystals we can last, Yimo comforted. Who do you think Peng Gandang and them are? They seem to be very wealthy. How do they have so many immortal crystals? Zhen Bingyu was very confused. Yimo waved his hand. Martial sister Bingyu, we shouldn't discuss about them anymore. I'm certain they're not ordinary, but not matter what their plans are, it has nothing to do with us. Before Yimo finished he stopped talking, as moments later, Peng Gandang appeared before his shop. Great Master Yi. As soon as Peng Gandang came to the door, he saluted with his fists and greeted. Ever since Yimo rejected Han Changzhen's offer he changed from Brother Yi to Great Master Yi. Brother Peng, please sit. Yimo quickly got up. There was a sliver of guilt in Peng Gandang's eyes. Great Master Yi, I said I was going to help you introduce some business from the top deck, but people don't really trust me. I'm very sorry, if you owe immortal crystals, I can. Yimo quickly waved his hand. No need, thank you Brother Peng. Business isn't so good here but I can manage to survive. After hesitating for a while, Peng Gandang suddenly gave a firm look. Brother Yi, if one day you're really in trouble, come find me at the top deck. Even if I lose face I will help you. Yimo laughed. Thank you very much Brother Peng, perhaps I will soon be coming to find you. At the same time, Yimo sneered on the inside, this Peng Gandang was speaking nonsense. If he really wanted to help him, it would be all too easy. Yimo didn't believe his words. If he couldn't find people to come to his pill tower, he wouldn't say those words. The main reason he came today was probably because he knew he went to the realm domain void to see if he was willing to join them. This only meant one thing, they really needed a level 4 immortal pill great master like him. Yimo didn't want to know what they were doing nor join them. Just when it was awkward between the two, 3 abstruse immortals rushed in. Seeing Yimo get up immediately, Peng Gandang said goodbye. He knew from Yimo's face that he knew the 3. Brother Lan, Xiong, Martial Sister Tan. Yimo immediately knew why they came. Just looking at them, they were probably about to go to the refinery. Brother Yi, we didn't expect that we wouldn't be able to last even a year. Sigh. Lan Disheng saw Yimo had his own pill tower and sighed. The weakest among them was Yimo and he had a burden with him, yet he was doing the best. Yimo knew from the Great Unity Immortal that the 3 were in this state partly due to him. Brother Yi, if the Great Unity Immortal Manager didn't die at the void we wouldn't even be able to come find you. We had nearly 10 million immortal crystals altogether but they were all taken by that Great Unity Immortal, Xiong Chilling said. In Gonghua Heaven he was an abstruse immortal and had some status, but on this ship he was nothing. Seeing Lan Disheng about to say something, Yimo waved his hand. We all come from the same place. I'll lend some immortal crystals to you guys. When I have the capability it will be easy for you all to come to the middle deck. Thank you Brother Yi. Lan Disheng and them quickly said. Immortal crystals were too precious on the ship, they would be hugely grateful if Yimo could lend them 100,000 immortal crystals. Yimo took out 3 storage rings. I'll take out 15 million immortal crystals first, 5 million each. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.